Naruto's Strongest Talent, Chapter 301 to 320. 301 The end of this battle. This is Jinten particle style, the blood follows the elimination. White Fang was stunned, but quickly recovered his expression. Only 3 generations of Tsuchikage can be grandmasters after the blood has been eliminated, but judging from your size and voice, it is definitely not 3 generations of Tsuchikage. Not only was White Fang stunned, even Konoha Anbu, who was far away, was completely stunned when he saw this scene. He didn't expect this to happen at all. Sasori and Konan also took the opportunity to kill Konoha's Anbu. Konoha's Anbu in the field has been damaged by more than half, and it seems that all of them will be killed here. Jinten particle style was used by Chen, and within a range of hundreds of meters, Jinten particle style was included. White Fang's expression became extremely nervous, and he forced the use of the telekinesis technique to avoid escape. He was puzzled and didn't know what Chen's identity was, but White Fang had no choice but to hide. Otherwise, once hit by Jinten particle style, the consequences would be unimaginable, and White Fang's back would be chilled just thinking about it. Akatsuki's leader is actually Grandmaster Jinten particle style. It seems that even if the other party is not the 3rd generation Tsuchikage, there is some kind of connection with the 3rd generation Tsuchikage. While White Fang is avoiding, his mind changes sharply. Of course, White Fang got it wrong, and subconsciously associated Jinten particle style with the 3rd generation of Tsuchikage, but this is human nature. When White Fang thought about it like this, a faint unease flashed in his heart, because he always felt that Chen was a little weird, but he couldn't feel exactly what was the reason, which made the weirdness in White Fang's heart become more and more serious. Probably because of White Fang's keen perception, and the fact that he and Chen have fought side by side many times, White Fang has a good understanding of Chen's behavior, so White Fang has some doubts in his heart after all. White Fang dodged desperately, and used the instant body in the state of the secret technique to avoid Chen's Jinten particle style blow. Only in the area shrouded by Jinten particle style everything turned into a molecular state, showing the powerful power of Jinten particle style extreme terror. Terrible. There was a cold sweat on White Fang's back. He just felt that it was too dangerous. If he was not careful, he would be buried under Jinten particle style. Akatsuki leader in front of him is really mysterious. Even Jinten particle style is the Grandmaster. White Fang is sure that the other party is definitely not the 3rd generation Tsuchikage, because White Fang and the 3rd generation Tsuchikage have had dealings before, and White Fang is the captain of Konoha Anbu. I still know a lot about the 3 generations of Tsuchikage. What is the identity of the other party? Konoha White Fang, you are fighting with me and you want to guess my identity. You are not so free. Chen squinted his eyes, and murderous intent appeared in his eyes. White Fang was indeed very alert to Akatsuki, but since he knew the secret, he must die. White Fang froze in his heart, and immediately put aside his guesses about Chen's identity, and fought with Chen. During the battle with Chen, White Fang was not allowed to have time to think about other things. White Fang and Chen fought, and both showed extremely strong strength, constantly using ninjutsu, taijutsu attacks, back and forth, in the pouring rain, hundreds of times after a moment. The two fought in the torrential rain, but the harsh environment did not affect their fight at all. In this state, White Fang Chen's battle is also breathtaking. This area was originally a plain, but it was completely destroyed by ninjutsu. In the area of thousands of meters, there are potholes everywhere, and ravines are crisscrossed everywhere. The walls are broken and devastated, and people can't bear to look directly at it. Of chakra everywhere. Fortunately, this area is deserted. Otherwise, Hanzo, the leader of the Omegakure village, must be alarmed. A battle of this scale, even in the history of the 5 great powers, is a rare and wonderful battle. So strong. More he fought with Chen, the more frightened White Fang became, and he realized how terrifying the opponent was. At this time, White Fang's body was already covered with scars, and Chen fought against White Fang without using Mangekyo Sharingan, coupled with White Fang's offensive. It was almost impossible to die, so Chen also had several scars on his body. What surprised White Fang was that the wounds on Chen's body seemed to heal automatically after a period of time, not even leaving any bloodstains, and became as good as ever. On the other hand, White Fang had dozens of wounds, both big and small, all of which were shocking, and even the chakra showed signs of gradually depleting. The wound on your body, how is this possible? White Fang became more and more shocked and lost his initial equanimity. After the opponent is injured, the wound will automatically recover quickly. How can we fight this battle? That's right, Chen has gradually regained his body's resilience after practicing Yongdun. Although it is not as terrible as Senjuhashirama's resilience, it is also extremely powerful. Ordinary injuries can recover quickly even without hand seal treatment. This is the power of Yangdun. No wonder White Fang was so shocked to know that White Fang was at a disadvantage in this battle, and Chen continued to recover, which made the gap between the two more and more obvious. White Fang's physical strength, chakra is gradually unable to keep up with consumption, and eventually has a tendency to collapse. This is the first time that White Fang has felt this way, facing such a crisis. Before facing any opponent, White Fang never had such a strange feeling. White Fang gradually became powerless, the chakra on his body began to lose, and his movements became slower and slower. And his opponent is Chen. As long as White Fang has a slight gap, Chen will use ninjutsu to attack and go up. With mutual cooperation, White Fang finally shows his defeat. Chen finally breathed a sigh of relief at this time. White Fang's strength was actually amazing, and it was really difficult to kill the opponent without Chen not using Mangekyo Sharingan, and even White Fang wounded Chen several times. If it wasn't for Yongdun, Chen's situation would not be much better than White Fang. Of course, that is without using Mangekyo. If using Mangekyo Sharingan's power, Chen is stronger than White Fang. Konoha White Fang, this is all over. Chen said lightly, treating White Fang as a dead person. All this is finally coming to an end. Please subscribe. The third update. Death of White Fang. Sweden Water Style Thunder Dragon Shot. Chen quickly hand seal, using a ninjutsu. The Water Dragon Bullet is also one of the first-class ninjutsu. It is a ninjutsu that combines Sweden Water Style and Raiden Thunder Style. Only 6 huge water dragons with an extension of tens of meters emerge from the water, and the water dragon roars and roars. There is also thunder and lightning on the water dragon, which can paralyze the enemy and has a strong destructive power. 6 water dragons roared and rushed towards White Fang at the same time. White Fang was already a little powerless at this time. He shouted angrily, and used the short blade to swing 2.5 moon attacks, destroying 2 of the water dragons, but the remaining 4 water dragons attacked firmly on White Fang's body. White Fang was directly hit hard by this blow, let out a groan, turned pale, got involved in the surging water, and was struck by lightning. After the battle just now, White Fang was already at a disadvantage. After being hit by this blow, White Fang's complexion turned pale and his body trembled slightly, obviously approaching the limit. Only White Fang, but also the Konoha Anbu's in the distance were almost killed by Konan and Sasori. Only the last 2 Anbus remained, struggling to support. Damn! White Fang was covered in scars all over his body, and even had a few fatal wounds, with blood. White Fang's chakra is also almost exhausted. As long as Chen uses more than one level of ninjutsu, I am afraid that White Fang will be completely unable to resist and will die. White Fang's eyes were full of anger, but he was relatively calm. White Fang was not afraid of death, but this time facing the mysterious Akatsuki leader, he did not find out any information. Instead, he was at an absolute disadvantage, which made White Fang very uncomfortable. Unwilling. Spiritual art. White Fang bit Kiba and used the last chakra, ready to use the psychic technique. Chen, of course, would not let White Fang do it again. A teleportation technique came in front of White Fang. When White Fang was about to use the teleportation technique, he swept out with one leg and kicked White Fang out more than 10 meters away, allowing White Fang to use the teleportation technique. It fell heavily to the ground. White Fang spit out a mouthful of blood, and finally lost the last resistance. The chakra was exhausted, and even the power gradually lost. Chen looked at the severely injured White Fang and knew that the situation was finally under his control again. Chen Qing sighed. White Fang, I respect you as a Konoha hero and will give you a happy death. It's a pity, after all, am I still the loser? There was despair in White Fang's eyes. Unfortunately, I didn't understand your identity until the end. This Akatsuki really hides secrets. I'm afraid you, the leader of Akatsuki, have no small ambitions and schemes. Chen ignored White Fang, and instead looked at the battlefield. Konan and Sasori also basically killed Konoha Anbu, leaving only 2 survivors. Chen said to Konan and Sasori, you leave a living mouth in Konoha Anbu, I will be useful. Yes. Konan obeyed and left one as a living mouth. Are you going to attack Konoha? White Fang met Chen. Immediately reacted, Chen must be planning to use the name Anbu of Konoha. Chen shrugged. As expected of Konoha White Fang, you can see clearly. White Fang looked at Chen, and said coldly, I'm planning to use Anbu's members, do you want to extract information about Konoha from Anbu members? It's impossible, my Anbu members have special sealing techniques. White Fang, you should still worry about your own situation. Chen interrupted White Fang's words. Of course he knew this, but Chen was not for information, but for other purposes. White Fang closed his eyes. This is the end, I can only let you slaughter it, right? Chen chuckled. I didn't expect the dignified Konoha White Fang to say such things. White Fang sneered and sighed again. Your strength is indeed above me. Throughout the 5 kingdoms, I'm afraid there are not many ninjas who can surpass you. Who are you? Chen shrugged. White Fang, the reason why you died is because your curiosity was too heavy, and your idea hit me, otherwise you could live for a while longer. White Fang sneered disdainfully. At this time, Sasori and Konan have captured Konoha Anbu, and Konan is guarding that Konoha Anbu's side to prevent him from committing suicide. And Sasori came to Chen's side in an instant, looking at White Fang with anger. Sasori walked out of the fiery amber, showing his true face, staring at White Fang with scorching eyes, revealing hatred. Konoha White Fang, I've been waiting for this day for years, I finally have the chance to see you die in front of me. Sasori bit Kiba's teeth. White Fang looked at Sasori calmly, and said coldly, I killed your parents. The 2 sides are fighting, regardless of life or death. From my standpoint, I did nothing wrong. Huh. Sasori still bit Kiba's teeth, turned to look at Chen and said, Sir, can I kill White Fang with my own hands? Due to the presence of White Fang, Sasori did not address Tatsu by his first name, but instead addressed him as Lord. Of course, this was also because Sasori saw Chen's strength and recognized Chen. Chen looked at Sasori. I can fulfill your request. Sasori's eyes flashed with joy, no matter what. What? The person he hated the most was the White Fang in front of him. Sasori of the Red Sand, I didn't expect you to betray Sunagakure village and join Akatsuki. White Fang knew his future fate, but instead became calm and looked at Sasori lightly. Sasori was unmoved, with an indifferent expression, wishing to kill White Fang now, but since Yu Chen didn't agree immediately, he didn't dare to do it right away. Chen walked in front of White Fang, ready to ask White Fang something. However, when Chen walked to White Fang's side, White Fang's expression gradually changed, his face became strange. White Fang stared at Chen stubbornly, as if he had discovered something, and his expression changed, strange, first stunned, then surprised, and then incredulous. Chen noticed White Fang's expression, and his heart moved. Is there any omission? White Fang discovered his identity, you are. White Fang became a little emotional. Chen saw White Fang's expression, he immediately knew that White Fang seemed to have really discovered his identity. 303 Identity Revealed. I never thought it would be you, Uchiha-chan. However, he saw a complex expression on White Fang's face, and looked at Chen with a bit of sighing and entanglement. White Fang really discovered his identity. Chen's eyes showed a hint of surprise. White Fang seemed to have aged 10 years, and sighed, "You are the hero and pride of Konoha, how could you become the leader of Akatsuki?" Chen was really a little puzzled, and White Fang didn't know where he saw his identity, and he was so keen. Seeming to see Chen's doubts, White Fang forced a smile and explained, "I can tell your identity because I have been raising ninja dogs before, so I have a very sensitive sense of smell and can smell your body. However, there is a lot of rain in the country of rain, which has caused my sense of smell to fail, so I can only detect it when you are close to me." It was so. Thinking about the original book, it seems that Kakashi's psychic technique is to psychic out a ninja dog. It seems that White Fang also has the same ninjutsu, but White Fang's sense of smell is more acute, comparable to a ninja dog. Even this can be detected, his identity is exposed, and Chen frowns. It seems that he must be careful in the future. He also needs to take into account the sense of smell in disguise, but this is also simple. White Fang, you actually discovered it, but unfortunately, you are destined to die here today. Chen said lightly. Even if White Fang found out, it was also a tear in the face. Anyway, Chen wasn't afraid. Dead people don't reveal secrets. I know my fate. White Fang forced a smile, but Uchiha-chan, I really want to ask, why is this? White Fang was still puzzled as to why Uchiha-chan became the leader of Akatsuki, and he also plotted to signal Konan and Sasori Shion to retreat, leaving Chen and White Fang with space to talk. After Konan and Sasori were gone, Chen only turned to White Fang. Fang took off the mask on his face. The matter is over, there is no need to wear a mask. Under the mask, Chen Zhengshou's incomparable face was revealed, looking at White Fang indifferently. White Fang sneered. I never thought it would be you. Life is a surprise. Chen shrugged and said a cold joke. White Fang was silent for a while, but still asked, I really want to know why you actually want to betray Konoha. Konoha. White Fang, many things are not what you see. I have not betrayed Konoha. Chen never thought that he betrayed Konoha from beginning to end. To a large extent, Chen was just seeking self-protection. Do you want him to accompany the beginning of the original story, but to destroy Chen with Uchiha? What you do, you say no Konoha. White Fang sneered deeply. Chen sneered, betraying Konoha. White Fang, as the head of the department, don't you know what the attitude of Konoha's executives towards the Uchiha family is? How much conflict is there between Uchiha and Konoha, and you don't know why the Uchiha family is the two founders of Konoha? One, but it's so crowded, don't you know? White Fang was stunned for a moment, then fell silent. What Chen said was true, so White Fang couldn't refute it, he could only agree. Say. It's ridiculous that I betrayed Konoha. Konoha executives have long been dissent towards Uchiha, since the second generation of Hokage. Since it was you who betrayed first, then I am just protecting myself. Chen said lightly. Chen has nothing to say about White Fang, who is completely loyal to Konoha. In Chen's opinion, White Fang is completely blindly loyal. White Fang was silent. It seems that I wasted too much saliva with you, White Fang. I respect you as a Konoha hero, and give you a treat. Chen said lightly and waved at Sasori. Sasori, come here. Sasori immediately came to Chen's face, still looking at White Fang with hatred in his eyes, completely treating White Fang as an enemy. Sasori, it's up to you to settle the White Fang, give him a treat, and leave the whole body behind. Chen rode. Yes. Sasori has completely admired Chen at this time, and even has a little surrender. Wait. White Fang looked at Chen with a pleading look in his eyes. Can you spare Kakashi? He is my only son. Don't worry, I haven't done that yet. Chen shrugged and said lightly. Reason why Chen killed White Fang was due to Sasori's hatred, and because White Fang had already learned of Akatsuki, existence, and he was bound to die endlessly. Thank you. White Fang squeezed out one last sentence. Chen shrugged, left the place, and handed White Fang over to Sasori. No matter what, Chen also sighed in his heart. After all, White Fang was also one of the most powerful ninjas in the ninja world, but he just fell. Chen waited outside for a while before Sasori walked out slowly. He died? Chen asked. Well, the whole body is left. Chen nodded slightly, his eyes twinkling. Sasori, you should be able to deal with the corpse. Can you erase the battle scars from White Fang's body, and then treat it like White Fang committed suicide? Sasori nodded immediately and said to himself, no problem at all. Every puppet master is an expert in handling corpses. Killing White Fang is not a problem, the problem is what to do after White Fang dies. White Fang has a high status in Konoha, and if he disappears, Konoha will definitely notice. So Chen also thought of a way. In the original book, White Fang committed suicide. So Chen planned to fake the appearance of White Fang's suicide, leaving a suicide note to create an illusion that White Fang committed suicide, so that Akatsuki's secret could be preserved. Sasori agreed so readily, but Chen was relieved a lot. With Sasori there, nothing is a problem. Very well, Sasori, I'll leave this to you. I'll deal with that Anbu from Konoha. Chen rode. Konoha's Anbu is also very useful. Chen intends to use Sharingan to hypnotize Konoha's Anbu, set a mental suggestion, and let the other party go back to Konoha to report wrong information to cover up Akatsuki's secret. A monthly pass is a good reward. Fei Lu of Shenmue reminds you. 304 I suddenly miss you. Happy Christmas Eve, Tilda. Sasori disposes of White Fang's corpse, disposes of all the scars from the fight on White Fang's body, and then creates the illusion of White Fang's suicide. Chen looked at it and nodded secretly. Sasori is indeed very experienced in handling corpses, and he deserves to be the top puppet master. Puppet master has been dealing with human bodies and corpses all the year round. With Sasori to deal with White Fang's corpse, Chen is very relieved that no one in Konoha can see it. Person who actually surpassed Sasori in puppet technique, I am afraid that there is only Chio for the time being. Sasori finished disposing of White Fang's body, and Chen went to Conan's place. Conan guarded the prisoner of Konoha Anbu in case the prisoner committed suicide, so he had been knocked unconscious. Conan smiled at Chen, took the initiative to hug Chen's arm, and said, Brother Chen, what should I do with this person? Waking him up, I used Sharingan hypnotic control to change his mind. Chen said lightly. Well, good. Sharingan's ability to hypnotize and control is very strong. Uchiha Madara can control Kyuubi, Nine Tails, and Obito controls the 4th generation of Mizukage. Chen's pupil strength is also very strong at this time, and it is of course easy to control an ordinary Anbu. Conan wakes up Konoha Anbu, only to see this Konoha Anbu wake up. He is startled when he sees Chen, and is about to call out the name of Sheng Chen, but Chen has used Sharingan's hypnotic ability. Chen used Sharingan's hypnotic ability to gradually lose the focus of Anbu's eyes, only to see that the chakra in Chen's eyes continued to be used, and with the continuous enhancement of chakra, all the 3 Tomo's in Chen's eyes turned, enough control the thoughts and actions of this Anbu. What's your name? Whitewood. Shiroki, your next mission is to go back to Konoha village and report to the 3 generations of Hokage. The White Fang team went out to perform a mission and encountered a strong enemy, and White Fang chose to save you between completing the mission and saving his teammates, so the mission failed. Eventually White Fang felt ashamed of Konoha and committed suicide. Chen instilled information into the Anbu ninja, and the Anbu did not resist Chen's Sharingan hypnotic effect at all, and gradually obeyed Chen's orders, nodding slightly, yes. Chen only felt that the pupil power was also consumed for a while, and the chakra was also lost a lot. It seems that this hypnotic ability of Sharingan will also consume a lot of chakra, but the original Uchiha Madara can actually control Kyuubi, Nine Tails through this, which is enough to prove the power of Uchiha Madara. But despite this, there was a smile on the corner of Chen's mouth. Regardless of. Anyway, finally got it done. Konoha Anbu in front of him, Tatsu used Sharingan to control the Konoha Anbu and went to Sasori with Konan. Sasori had completely removed White Fang's corpse at this time, and respectfully said to Chen, "Sir, thank you for taking revenge for me this time. I will officially become Akatsuki's one from today." Very good. Chen smiled. Sasori was not strong when he was young, but not to be overlooked either. Being a member of Akatsuki is definitely enough. What's more, Sasori still has huge room for growth in the future. I'll go back to Konoha village to deal with the death of White Fang, and in 2 weeks, we'll go and kill the 3 generations of Kazekage. Chen said lightly. White Fang is dead. Chen's next step is to kill the 3 generations of Kazekage, provoking the Third Ninja War. Yes. Both Sasori and Konan responded. Konan and Sasori left, and Tatsu went back to Konoha village. Chen controls that Konoha Anbu. That Anbu has been completely bewildered by Chen's spiritual suggestion, completely mistaking it for White Fang to commit suicide. In particular, Chen also found a letter from White Fang's own mission on White Fang's body. Using this mission letter, he used Sharingan to imitate White Fang's handwriting to forge White Fang's suicide letter, and even created a proof. Hypnosis of Chen's Sharingan, that Konoha Anbu had completely believed the facts, constructed by Chen, carrying White Fang's body on his back, and went to Konoha. Every move of Konoha Anbu, at the same time, is also waiting for the response of the top Hokage. This battle is really over at this time. Chenya finally breathed a sigh of relief. Akatsuki's secret should be sealed, but if it goes on like this, it will inevitably be exposed. It is time to provoke the Third Ninja War and let the plot begin. The Battle of Canopy Bridge is getting closer and closer. All the layout of Chen is almost completed. Only the fly in the ointment is that Chen is still a little bit short of making the Yangdun practice go further and let Sharingan reach the level of the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. However, Chen can feel that Yangdun's practice is getting stronger and stronger, and he is only one step away from the door. Konoha village. Chen returned to the clan and waited with peace of mind for the response of the Konoha executives after learning of White Fang's death. "Where have you been these days? Kushina and I are very worried." Shortly after returning home, Makoto greeted him and rebuked him gently. Chen blinked. "Going to deal with an important matter. This man, don't say anything in advance." Kushina also groaned. Okay, I'm afraid of you guys. Next time, I'll definitely tell you in advance." Chen rode. Only then did Kushina and Makoto smile and hug Tatsu's shoulders from left to right. Chen seemed to remember something and asked casually, "By the way, let me ask you a question. If one day we were to leave Konoha village to live, would you be willing? We leave Konoha life together." Both Kushina and Makoto were stunned for a moment, a little puzzled. "Well, even leaving Konoha, as long as the 3 of us stay together." Kushina did not hesitate. Makoto thought for a while, and nodded in the same way. 305 3 generations of reaction. Captain Anbu. Merry Christmas. After getting up, Chen had already put on a serious expression. The news of White Fang's death must have reached the 3rd generation yesterday, and he did not know how the 3rd generation would react next. Chen's expression moved slightly, and he had already started to think. Regardless of how the 3 generations will react, Chen is sure to respond. Until noon, news from the village finally came out, and a shocking news spread quickly. The captain of Konoha Anbu, the hero with the title of Konoha White Fang, committed suicide. Spread to every corner of Konoha as if it had long legs. Even the Uchiha clan was disturbed, so Chen was called by Uchiha to discuss it. And Konoha's high level is completely exploded. The people of Konoha were in shock. They never thought that White Fang would commit suicide. But gradually, the beginning and end of this matter also came out. It turned out that when White Fang was on a secret mission, he chose the latter between completing the mission and saving his companions, which led to the failure of the mission, and was criticized by his companions, and even his rescued companions accused him, causing White Fang to fail. Fang's psychological pressure was too great, and he couldn't bear to commit suicide for a while. White Fang left a suicide note, which is also his personal testimonial. The high-rise of Konoha was shocked, not only the three generations, but also Danzo, Homura Mitokado, Tsunade, Orochimaru and others were all alarmed. Of course, Chen and Minato also received the news and rushed to the Hokage building. On the Hokage building, three generations are sitting in the center of the round table. Below are Danzo, Homura Mitokado, Kaharu Udatain and others, including Tsunade. Orochimaru are all in the column. Chen is sitting opposite Tsunade. Here are all the upper floors of Konoha. The third generation looked at everyone. His expression was a little worried. His brows were deeply wrinkled. He took a sharp puff of cigarette, and said, "You all know about White Fang's death, what do you think? White Fang is the captain of my Anbu in Konoha. How could his willpower be so weak that he wants to commit suicide?" Danzo sneered. There must be some reason behind this. Homura Mitokado and others also nodded slightly. And Chen narrowed his eyes, as he thought, he probably didn't believe that White Fang would commit suicide. Regardless of it's Tsunade, Orochimaru, or everyone else. It's clear to me that White Fang is not ordinary. He could easily end his life like this. Of course, he didn't think that he could completely hide it from the Konoha executives, as long as the Konoha executives couldn't find them. Any other basis is sufficient. Third generation also nodded slightly, and said, it's not White Kiba's death, according to Tsunade's identification, was indeed a suicide. Chen's heart moved, and a stone fell to the ground. Even a professional healer like Tsunade could not detect the true cause of White Fang's death. It seems that Sasori's handling of the body is indeed unique. After all, Tsunade doesn't come into contact with corpses as often as Sasori, so it is normal for Sasori to hide Tsunade. As long as no clues are noticed by the top management of Konoha, this is enough. Also, Anbu Shiraki's report is also true. The third generation took another puff of cigarette and said, Anbu that Chen used Sharingan to hypnotize also became the only witness, and even his words did not seem to be false, which made the three generations unable to find evidence. The most important point is that I read White Fang's suicide note, which is also the same as White Fang's own handwriting. There is nothing suspicious about these three places. Three generations sighed. All were silent. Even Danzo frowned. I have already announced the news of White Fang's death. We don't have any clues about this matter. We can only temporarily assign Danzo's route to investigate. The three generations said, but they have given up hope. I understand. I'll try my best to find out. Danzo said lightly. Although Danzo said this, everyone knew that Danzo would never find out about this matter, because there was almost no trace of White Fang's death. After the death of White Fang, there is only one descendant, Hitaki Kakashi. Minato, Kakashi seems to be your disciple. 3 generations rode. Yes, 3 generations of adults. Minato nodded. Take good care of that child. 3 generations rode. Yes. Also, after the death of White Fang, the position of the captain of Konoha Anbu is vacant, so Chenlai will take over this position for the time being, and Minato will take over as the deputy captain. 3 generations thought for a while, and then ordered. Danzo opened his mouth, as if to object, but didn't speak. That's how things settled. The reaction of the 3 generations was expected by Chen, but he himself was promoted to the deputy captain because of this, but it was unexpected. Christmas is hard to code. Everyone Merry Christmas. Thanks to the senior actors and Yu Yuan for their rewards. Special thanks to senior actor Fei Lu for reminding you. 306 Kakashi destined to be sad. Please automatically, please subscribe. Chen and Minato agreed to take over as captain of Anbu. They both looked at each other and remained silent. Sandai said, "This is the end of the matter. I hope Konoha can pass this period safely. The recent ninja world has become more and more turbulent, and there is the possibility of war at any time. White Fang dies, we Konoha have lost another powerful ninja. Very White Fang well, he is the hero of Konoha." Yes. In the face of the 3 generations, instructions, everyone nodded. That's it, you all go. The 3 generations waved their hands. Chen and the others all nodded, and then all left. In the Hokage building, Minato sighed for a while. White Fang's death is really strange. I can't figure out why White Fang actually committed suicide. Chen did not speak. Minato shook his head. I don't know what will happen to Kakashi. I have to comfort Kakashi. Minato is temporarily separated from Tatsu, while Tatsu is side by side with Tsunade. Tsunade said softly, "It's an eventful time, and it seems that the ninja world is going to be unstable again." Chen Wang turned to Tsunade. "Well, there is a possibility of a war breaking out at any time. I don't want to go to the battlefield anymore. If a war breaks out, I'll stay in the Senju clan." Tsunade shook his head. Chen's heart moved. Tsunade seemed to be a little disheartened because of the loneliness of the Senju clan, and it turned out that Tsunade was about to gradually fade out of Konoha's high-level original book because of the death of his younger brother and others, and finally left Konoha. Now it seems that Tsunade is surprisingly similar to the decision in the original book because of the loneliness of the Senju family. The Senju clan suffered heavy losses in the war, and the attitude of the senior Konoha to the Senju clan was lukewarm, making Tsunade extremely disappointed. "Cheer up and everything will be fine." Chen can only comfort Tsunade. "Well." Tsunade smiled. "I've been feeling uneasy lately, and I feel like there is always a danger of war. You have to be very careful. With my strength, there are not many people in the ninja world who can threaten me." Chen shrugged and smiled. Well. Chatting with Tsunade for a while, Chen returned to the clan. Few days, the village of Konoha seemed to be shrouded in a haze. The death of White Fang seemed to be some kind of revelation and beginning, and even Konoha became a lot of martial law, no matter what. The number of ninjas is increasing one after another. And people's expressions gradually became nervous about what they were going to face next. The death of White Fang made the village within the village. All the ninjas were shocked, and many ninjas discussed and pondered the reason for White Fang's death, feeling a little unusual. And during this time, Chen taught Kurenai Yuhi and Gai. Shisui has been able to practice ninjutsu without following Chenchu, and finally became a member of Hokage's direct Anbu. As for Kurenai Yuhi and Gai's strength is still a little worse, especially Gai. Of course, Gai has finally made some progress now, having learned the 8 inner gates, and with the strength to open 2 doors, the physical skills are not bad. The accomplished Gai was very excited and was going to challenge Kakashi, but unexpectedly got news of the death of Kakashi's father White Fang, and he didn't know how to comfort Kakashi. "Gai, what's wrong?" Chen asked. "It's Kakashi. Kakashi has recently become very depressed and never even with us because of the news of his father's death." Gai sighed. Chen squinted his eyes. Kakashi's father was killed, so Kakashi's character has changed greatly because of this. Of course Chen is very clear. Impact of this incident on Kakashi. Chen shrugged. Chen didn't regret killing White Fang at all. If he didn't kill White Fang, he would be the one who would suffer in the end, and White Fang also chose to die. He didn't feel any guilt about it. But Chen is still a little curious about Kakashi's current state. "Kakashi doesn't talk to me anymore. Only Rin and Obito from the same team can make Kakashi a little more cheerful," Gai said. Chen nodded slightly and let Gai continue training ninjutsu, but he found Kakashi. Sure enough, Kakashi was seen alone, walking silently on the street, with his head lowered and silent. At this time, Kakashi was 11 years old, and his strength was quite good. Apart from Shisui, he was already the strongest among his peers. Kakashi. Chen squinted his eyes. He was used to seeing Kakashi's arrogance in the original book in his previous life, but it was rare to see this side of Kakashi, which made Chen feel surprised. Poor Kakashi, destined to be sad. But Chen didn't have time to appreciate Kakashi's expression. For Chen, Kakashi was not an opponent. Chen's opponent is at least the level of Uchiha Madara. Chen stared at Kakashi for a while, then stopped talking and returned to Uchiha. In the following period of time, the Uchiha family also fell into a state of tension, and even the clan leader Uchiha Mae received an order to be ready to go to the Konoha border guard at all times. Several other major countries are also just around the corner, as if they are making a move. Situation is getting more and more tense, and as long as there is a contradiction, it seems that a contradiction may break out at any time. 2 weeks passed quickly, and Chen finally waited almost until the time came. The next step, Chen's plan is to kill the 3 generations of Kazekage and provoke the Third Ninja War. In the original book, Sasori killed 3 generations of Kazekage, but with Sasori's current strength, it is impossible to look at it, unless it is auxiliary means such as poison. After all, the 3 generations of Kazekage are known as the strongest Kazekage, and there is no need to question their strength. It was on this night that Chen received news that he was going to deal with the 3 generations of Kazekage. Beforehand, Tatsu had dispatched Sasori to infiltrate Sunagakure village to find out information about Sunagakure village. And Sasori also basically inquired about the information of Sunagakure village, and felt that it was the right time to start, so he sent a message to Chen. Chen also finally acted. The Third Ninja War provoked by 307. This night, both Kushina and Makoto were already underwater, and Chen was alone in the study, as if waiting for something to come. Today is the time Chen and Konan agreed. Sasori has been sent to Sunagakure village, and Konan is responsible for contacting Chen, letting Chen sneak into Sunagakure village at the right time and kill the 3 generations of Kazekage. So Chen was waiting for Konan in the study. Chen had already greeted Kushina and Makoto in advance, and said that he wanted to study ninjutsu, so that others would not be disturbed for the time being, in order to hide their eyes and ears. Setting everything up, when night falls, a bright moon hangs high in the sky, and Chen also waits for Konan. After about half an hour, Chen felt a whistling wind blowing, and after that, when Chen's eyes narrowed, he saw only pieces of paper like butterflies dancing in the dark night. The film surrounds Chen, like the stars holding the moon. Chen looked at these pieces of paper, which looked like works of art, and couldn't help but smile. Konan was really getting better and better. Now the manipulating the pieces of paper is completely art, and it has an amazing beauty. Konan. Chen whispered, and only saw these pieces of paper turned into a figure, gradually approaching, forming the appearance of Konan. Brother Chen, have you been waiting for a long time? Konan asked softly. Chen smiled. Well, it's been a while. There was a hint of apology in Konan's eyes. Konoha has been in martial law a lot recently, and it's not easy for me to sneak in quietly, so it took a lot of time. Chen smiled, of course, knowing that this is a matter of course, hugged Konan gently, and said softly, it's okay, we are leaving from Konoha now and go to Sunagakure first. Is Sasori ready? Well, Sasori has already arranged everything, but I underestimate Sasori. He is very good at inserting spies. Sunagakure village has a lot of chess pieces that he buried. Konan said softly. Chen smiled. Sasori was like this in the original book. I remember that Kabuto was still Sasori's subordinate, and was inserted under Orochimaru as a spy, but Orochimaru turned it back. Don't underestimate Sasori. Chen smiled. Of course I won't, he is someone who has been praised by Brother Chen, I know. Konan raised his snow-white chin and smiled lightly. Chen shook his head and smiled. Konan, this girl, completely obeyed his words. Let's go. Tatsu changed into Akatsuki's clothes, put on a ring, and put on a mask, and left the village with Konan. Chen is of course familiar with Konoha village, and he and the two quickly left Konoha and headed for Sunagakur. Chen still took a short path, approaching Sunagakur village. Along the way, there was a lot of wind and sand, but Xiao Bobo, because this was the first time Conan and Chen went out together, was quite new and interesting to Conan. Chen and Conan arrived at Sunagakur village, gave the password, and waited for Sasori's response. After a while, there was finally movement. A human-shaped puppet appeared in front of Chen, and seemed to be leading the way for Chen and Conan. Chen and Conan followed the puppet, and under the guidance of the puppet, they entered the village of Sunagakur. Chen really appreciates Sasori's methods. Sasori is indeed a bit of a man. My lord, everything is set up. Just as Chen and Conan entered the Sunagakur village and were led into a secret passage by the puppet, Sasori finally appeared. Sasori said, I have already inquired about the news. Tomorrow, the 3 generations of Kazekage will leave the village and go out to the surrounding small countries. It is the best time for us to start, so I asked Conan to invite you to come over. It was so. Chen nodded slightly. The 3 generations of Kazekage have always been in the village on weekdays, surrounded by countless guards, and the strong are like clouds. Kazekage alone in such a situation, he is not sure that he will be able to retreat completely. So when the 3 generations of Kazekage go out, it is the best time. What will happen tomorrow, Sasori, do you understand? Chen asked. Sasori nodded and said solemnly, well, I know very well. I already know Akatsuki's roadmap for tomorrow's 3 generations of Kazekage. 3 generations of Kazekage will bring 10 elite Jonin guards, so it is not a problem for you, Lord. Chen smiled. The 10 elite Jonin's guards, Chen did not see it at all. The only threat was the 3rd generation of Kazekage. However, Chen still has confidence. Few years ago, Chen needed Tsunade's help to fight with Kazekage 3 years ago, but this time he didn't need it at all. If that's the case, I'll do my best tomorrow, and you don't need any action. Chen admonished. Yes. Conan and Sasori both nodded. Conan and Sasori were also looking forward to this battle, because the last time they saw the battle between Chen and White Fang, they were shocked, and this time they were even more looking forward to it. Conan and Sasori looked at Chen, looking forward to tomorrow. Night was silent until the next day. Chen, the 3 of them have all arrived in ambush on the only road of the 3rd generation of Kazekage, waiting for the 3rd generation of Kazekage. Sand filled the sky, and the 3 of them were hiding in the sand, waiting for the 3 generations of Kazekage and his party. This time, Tatsumoku is clear that to kill the 3rd generation of Kazekage, it is best to use Jinten particle style to kill the 3rd generation of Kazekage, deliberately disguised as Iwagakure to attack the 3rd generation of Kazekage, and put the blame on the 3rd generation of Tsuchikage and the land of the earth, and finally provoking the 3rd ninja war. Let the 3rd ninja war break out, Akatsuki fish in troubled waters, and Chen also can take the opportunity to grasp the progress of the plot. And finish everything, just waiting for the arrival of the 3rd generation of Kazekage. The sandstorm was getting bigger and bigger. Chen and the 3 of them waited for a whole morning, but they always saw the yellow sand on the road ahead, but Chen was not in a hurry and waited patiently. Finally, at the junction of the sky and the yellow sand in the distance, a group of people walked slowly. It was the 3 generations of Kazekage and others. 308 The 3rd generation of Kazekage. For automatic, for reward. 3 generations of Kazekage and his party finally appeared in Tatsu's field of vision. Conan and Sasori are both slightly excited, especially Sasori. Chen has already felt Sasori's hatred attitude. It seems that Sasori's hatred for the 3 generations of Kazekage is more than a little bit. The whistling wind obscured everything. There were hunting noises everywhere, and the wind swept through. In such a harsh environment, it seemed to be very beneficial for Sunagakur's ninja battle. But Chen didn't care, and finally waited until the 3rd generation of Kazekage came. 3 generations of Kazecage's group gradually approached Chen, including the 10 guards of the 3 generations of Kazekage, which were exactly the same as what Sasori said, completely corresponding. A smile appeared on the corner of Chen's mouth. Third generation of Cage gradually approached. Chen restrained his breath, and finally acted. Chen moved. I saw Chen quickly emerge from the yellow sand, and suddenly appeared in front of the third generation of Cage and others. The third generation of Cage also responded very quickly. His face changed, and he shouted sharply, "There is an enemy attacking, everyone prepare for battle." As the voice of the three generations of Cage fell, Chen had already started. Kaden Fire Style, the art of fire with 9 claws at the center of the earth. Chen Feifei Hand Seal, used a Kaden Fire Style ninjutsu. This ninjutsu is also a high-level ninjutsu, but it is not a secret tradition of the Uchiha family, so others will not suspect Uchiha. In this sandy environment, Futon Wind Style and Kaden Fire Style are the most popular, so Chen used his own Kaden Fire Style from the very beginning. I only saw the flames rise like a giant beast, and the scorching flames scorched everything. It seemed that even the air was distorted. The most terrifying thing is that the flames became even more violent after being blown by the wind and sand, and the state completely broke out. The raging flames burned everything, attacking the surrounding elite Jonin and the three generations of Cage. Look of the three generations of Cage changed immediately, and there was a touch of consternation. What a strong Kaden Fire Style. I only saw that under the influence of wind and sand, a heat wave covered a radius of hundreds of meters, and then this heat wave burned everything. The powerful Kaden Fire Style leveled everything, and the three generations of Cage responded quickly, but it was a step too late. Jitten Magnet Style Iron Sand World Method. Generation Cage used the iconic Iron Sand World method to block the flames, but after all, it was a step too late, and Chen's Kaden Fire Style range is very large, even the third generation Cage can't completely block it. Damn. Third generation of Cage knew the horror of coming, and a bad premonition welled up in his heart. At the same time, in the blink of an eye, 5 elite Jonin were scorched by Chen's flames, screaming constantly, and before they could resist, they fell to the ground and died instantly. Among the 10 elite Jonin, 5 died in a blink of an eye, and 5 are still alive, killing him under the eyes of the 3-generation Cage. The difficulty can be imagined. Conan and Sasori in the distance are slightly wide open, even those who know Chen it's powerful, but it's still a bit shocking to see this scene with your own eyes. Who would have thought that Chen would actually kill 5 elite Jonin here? The third generation of Cage was stunned for a moment, then roared. Damn, who are you? Killed 5 Sunagaku elites in an instant, but the third generation Cage didn't even know the identity of the other party. Of course, he was furious and attacked Chen directly, while guessing Chen's identity. And Chen didn't mean to hide it at all. After all, Chen's main goal this time was to blame Tsuchikage for the conflict of killing the 3 generations of Cage. Chen Moment Hand Seal. This seal is. Third generation of Tsuchikage felt a little familiar, and couldn't help but be stunned. Jinten Particle Style, Split Detachment of the Primitive World Technique. Chen gave a soft drink, and Jinten Particle Style was stimulated, and the powerful force swept through, seemingly able to devour the world, only to see the huge chakra surging out of Chen's body, getting stronger and stronger, and in the middle is the chakra. A circular Jinchuriki column body is formed, directly including 3 generations of Cage. Jinten Particle Style. Eyes of the 3 generations of Cage showed disbelief, and the 5 elite Jonin who were only surviving around them also widened their eyes, as if they had seen something terrible. Jinten Particle Style isn't that ninjutsu that only 3 generations of Tsuchikage can do. It seems that everyone who came here has the same idea subconsciously. Even the 3 generations of Cage were completely stunned, but he quickly knew that this was not the time to be stunned, and immediately used ninjutsu, Jitten Magnet Style, the Giant of Iron Sand. 3 generations of Cage know Chen's power well, and even use the Sand Iron Giant, which is his strongest killing move. Third generation of Cage has a hunch that if this trick is not used now, I am afraid that it will not be used again soon. When I saw Chen's figure move, Jintan particle style burst out, directly including the Iron Sand Giants, and the Iron Sand Giants were all within the range of Chen Jintan particle style. Only a flash of white light, under the radiance of Jintan particle style, even the 3 generations of Cascage, Sand and Iron Giants instantly vanished and disappeared completely. Under Jintan particle style, everything vanishes into nothingness and becomes a molecular state. Even the best sand iron of the 3 generations of Cascage is no exception. Of course, this does not mean that Jintan particle style is invincible. Getting rid of Jintan particle style is also very simple. Just move fast enough to escape Jintan particle style's attack range. Or maybe the chakra is strong enough for Jintan particle style to be unable to cover it. For example, Uchiha Madara's full-body Susanoo in the original book makes Grandmaster Jintan particle style 2-day scale Onoki helpless and desperate. Cascage in front of him obviously do not have any of these situations, so Chen is completely at a disadvantage. The Iron Sand Giant he is proud of has disappeared under the power of Jintan particle style. The 3rd generation of Cascage only felt that the chakra was stagnant, and the connection with the Iron Sand Giant disappeared in an instant, which made him feel deeply frightened. 3 generations of Cascage-sama. Cascage-sama. The surrounding elite Jonins were extremely frightened and worried about the condition of the 3 generations of Cascage. It's just a face-to-face, but the 3 generations of Cascage are at a disadvantage when facing this mysterious person in front of him. This is the strongest 3 generations of Cascage in the Sunagakur village in all dynasties. 309 3 generations of Cascage, die. 3 generations of Cascage, your strength is still the same as before, and you haven't grown much. Chen shook his head, his voice changed, and people couldn't hear his real voice. He just looked at the 3 generations of Cascage with contempt. Although Chen was a sneak attack just now, he used Jintan particle style to quickly injure the 3rd generation Cascage, taking the advantage, and the initiative has been completely mastered. 3 generations of Cascage and his elite Jonin gradually recovered from their astonishment. Who are you? 3 generations of Cascage can't figure out the clues, and he is completely in a state of surprise. Even as the leader of a village, he has no idea what the situation is, let alone the identity of the person in front of him. The person in front of him looks like a 2-day scale Onoki, because it can use Jintan particle style. It doesn't seem like a 2-day scale Onoki, because it doesn't feel right to the 3 generations of Cascage. Who is this person? Listening to his tone, it seems that he has fought with him, but there are too many people who have fought with the 3 generations of Cascage. Even the 3 generations of Cascage himself can't remember clearly. Chen did not speak, and used Jintan particle style again. Jintan particle style, split detachment of the primitive world technique. The release of Jintan particle style once again shocked the hearts of 3 generations of Cascage. You must know that Jintan particle style is not one that can be released at will, because Jintan particle style is powerful. It requires a lot of mental energy and chakra. Even if it is a 2-day scale Onoki, it will not be used casually. Jintan particle style. But the mysterious person in front of him doesn't seem to care. When the ninja world has such a number 1 person, Chen's chakra volume is now very large, especially under the influence of Yongdun. It is particularly obvious. In this state, Chen can indeed use Jintan particle style multiple times. Chen didn't hesitate. This time he came here to raise hatred for Onoki, the 2-day scale balance. Of course he had to do his best. Jintan particle style covered the surrounding area with a range of several hundred meters. Seeing that the situation was not good, the 3 generations of Cascage immediately reminded the only 5 remaining elite Jonin around. Come on, you should evacuate first, and the farther you can escape, the better. 3 generations of Cascage made everyone disgusted, and the elite Jonins also fled quickly leaving the scene, wanting to get out of the scope of Jintan particle style. Jintan particle style has a great release speed and range, and 2 of the elite Jonin did not escape even after 3 generations of Cascage's reminders, and they were completely caught by Jintan particle style before they could even let out a scream. And disappeared completely. The other elite Jonin saw this scene, and their scalps were numb. This Jinten particle style was really terrifying. Sasori and Conan were also stunned. Even they felt unexpectedly powerful. Tatsu's strength has already surpassed Sasori and Conan. Especially Sasori. Sasori already had the intention of surrendering to Chen. Especially in this state, he is completely surrendered to Chen, without any dissent. In fact, even if those three elite Jonins were able to escape from Jinten's particle style range, Chen did it on purpose, because Chen wanted to stay alive and deliberately let these elite Jonins return to Sunagakur, so that they happened to meet Chen Young. The fact that Jinten particle style killed Kazekage stirs up hatred between Sunagakur and Iwagakure. So Tatsuya was prepared to let the three elite Jonin escape in advance. The three elite Jonin escaped. There was no doubt that he was there. Duchin was full of fear and escaped according to Kazecage's order to seek the support of the village. And Chen let the three of them escape, which was originally one of his plans. Next, Chen is confronted with the three generations of Kazekage. The corners of Kazecage's mouth showed bitterness. He also knew that this was the strongest opponent he had ever seen, and his strength was even higher than him. The opponent not only had a mysterious origin, but also seemed to know his ninjutsu very well, making Kazekage the third generation at a disadvantage everywhere. I'm afraid I'm going to die here today, but even so, I'm going to drag you into the water and pull a back. Three generations of Kazekage roared. Jident magnet style was fully used, and sand and iron were everywhere, attacking Chen. However, Chen was well prepared, facing the three generations of Kazecage's Jident magnet style but also calm and calm. At this time, Chen has already occupied the absolute upper hand. Well, there is absolutely no one around, and I don't have to tie my hands and feet anymore. Three generations of Kazekage, you are dead. Chen saw that the three elites, Jonin, had completely escaped, and there were only Chen, Kazekage, Sasori, and Conan around. Chen also simply used his power. Jinten particle style, split detachment of the primitive world technique. Chen has created a super large-scale split detachment of the primitive world technique, with a range of nearly 1,000 meters. Even the three generations of Kazekage can't escape for a while. Light of this Jinten particle style shines brightly in the sky, making the whole sky brighter. The white luster of Jinten particle style rose to the sky, and at the same time, a cone appeared, including the three generations of Kazekage, with a range of several kilometers, making the three generations of Kazekage impossible to avoid. Three generations of Kazekage tried their best to roar at the last moment and rushed towards Chen, wanting to drag Chen to be buried with him. A pity that Chen smiled and only saw that Jinten particle style covered three generations of Kazekage. Chen stopped at a critical moment and pressed down with the power of Jinten particle style, which did not make the three generations of Kazekage into a molecular state. But it hit three generations of Kazekage. Third generation of Kazekage vomited a mouthful of blood, turned pale, and became very ugly. Three generations of Kazekage are gradually dilated, and they have already suffered huge trauma, and it is obvious that they will not survive. Third generation of Kazekage looked at Chen with a bit of despair in his eyes. Chen used Jinten particle style several times in a row, and the consumption was also very intense, and his complexion was slightly pale. As expected, he wanted to kill a cage-level master of the level of three generations of Kazekage, but the consumption was still a lot. Must be quick to have the eternal Mangekyo, otherwise it will cost too much to kill the cage-level powerhouse. Chen thought to himself. Chen looked at Sasori who was hiding next to him, and said lightly, Sasori, I'll give you a chance to kill the third generation of Kazekage with your own hands, and you can also make the body of the third generation of Kazekage into a puppet. I believe this will be your most proud work. Ask for everything. 310 The big event that shocked the ninja world. Third. Tatsu's words brightened Sasori's eyes, and Sasori's eyes flashed with surprise. Chen said just spoke to Sasori's heart. Think about it, if the corpse of the three generations of Kazekage can be made into a humanoid puppet, how powerful this humanoid puppet will be. Sasori's combat power will definitely skyrocket. Although Sasori, I'm afraid it won't be able to exert the full strength of the 3 generations of cage puppets, but it is also very powerful, enough to increase Sasori's strength by a lot. The role of the puppet is very helpful to the puppet master, which is why Chen asked Sasori to do this. The stronger Sasori's strength is, the more benefits it will bring to Chen. Moreover, this move can lead to a complete break between Sasori and Sunagakure village. Imagine that Sasori has turned 3 generations of cage into humanoid puppets. The grudge between Sunagakure village and Sasori is doomed to be irreconcilable. Sasori has no place, only Akatsuki can accommodate it. Get off him. Sasori stepped forward excitedly, and manipulated the puppet to approach the 3 generations of cage with his own hands. 3 generations of cage's eyes widened and looked at Sasori in astonishment. Sasori, it's actually you. Yes, of course it's me. Sasori's expression towards the 3rd generation cage was cold, without the slightest emotion, and he snorted coldly. 3 generations cage-sama, I really didn't expect you to have today. Why did you betray the village? 3rd generation of cage's tone was bitter, and he never imagined that Sasori would appear. Sasori is a genius that Sunagakure village values very much. Sasori shook his head. What I want is not in Sunagakure village. Besides, 3 generations of cage, I have always loved you. After Sasori finished speaking, he moved quickly, only to see the poisonous needles provoked from his body, directly sinking into the throat of the 3rd generation cage. 3rd generation of cage was shocked. His pupils were completely dilated, he gradually lost focus and consciousness, and his body became cold. 3 generations of cage, the strongest cage in the history of Sunagakure village, just fell here. Sasori took the corpse of the 3rd cage like a treasure, and looked at the corpse of the 3rd cage as if he was staring at the most beloved thing, which made Tatsuya feel a little uncomfortable. Hurry up and put this corpse away, and deal with the others at will. Chen reprimanded. Sasori's expression at a corpse is really creepy. Sasori also realized the gaffe, and quickly disposed of the body of the 3 generations of cage, panicked, did not dare to violate the Chen. Sasori got the corpse of the 3rd cage. He couldn't hide his excitement, and he started to get restless. He wanted to make the corpse of the 3rd cage into a puppet immediately. But this time is not time. The 3 generations of cage died. I am afraid that the people of Sunagakure village will come soon, so now is not time to divide up the spoils. Let's go, lest the people from Sunagakure come. Road. Yes. War was over and everything was arranged. Chen just waited for Sunagakure and Iwagakure to hate each other, and then got into a fight. Chen took Konan and Sasori away quickly. Soon after, I saw the appearance of Iwagakure ninjas from Sunagakure village, and the leader of them was Chiyo. Since the battle was over, Sunagakure's men fluttered. Sunagakure ninjas searched the battlefield. Chiyo looked serious, and asked the 3 elite jonin, who ordered Chen to let go on purpose. What the hell is going on? How did the 3 generations of cage-sama disappear, and who is the other party? 3 questions on their faces. The elite jonin couldn't answer, because even they didn't know who Chen was, and could only describe the battle scene once. The other party is very powerful, Grandmaster Jinten particle style, very mysterious. We suspect that it has something to do with Tsuchikage 2-day scale Onoki. As for Cage-sama, I'm afraid. Another elite jonin also said with lingering fears. When we came to seek support just now, we were seeing the 3 generations of Cage-sama fighting against the mysterious man. The mysterious man used Jinten particle style to gain the upper hand. Damn. Chiyo slammed the ground hard, and the ground was dusty and sandy. 3 generations of Cage-sama actually disappeared. If other people in the ninja village knew about this, they would definitely take the opportunity to attack. What do you think we should do? Chiyo roared. Everyone else looked at each other in dismay, and they didn't dare to look at Chiyo. They were all silent. Kazekage, the leader of a village, actually disappeared, and it is more likely that an accident happened. The seriousness of the consequences can be imagined. Especially now that the major countries are in a state of turmoil, it is unimaginable if this news is known to the enemy country. The death of 3 generations of Kazekage is a big event that shocked the ninja world. And this is the fuse of the Third Ninja War. This fuse was ignited by Chen himself. At this time, Tatsu, Konan, and Sasori were walking on their way home, while the village of Sunagakure was covered in a cloud of darkness. The unexpected disappearance of the 3 generations of Kazekage has caused the high-level officials of Sunagakure village to fall into complete passivity and panic. Under such circumstances, the high-level officials of Sunagakure village are extremely shocked, like headless flies, looking for traces of the 3 generations of Kazekage everywhere. At the same time, Sasori's chess pieces buried in Sunagakure village finally came into play again, and began to spread rumors of the disappearance and death of 3 generations of Kazekage outside the village. For a time, the Sunagakure village was even more panicked, and the chaos turned into a pot of porridge. Even many countries are aware that something is wrong with Sunagakure village. At this time, the village of Iwagakure, who was not reconciled to the last ninja war, finally started. Under the personal leadership of the 3-generation Tsuchikage 2-day scale Onoki, Iwagakure launched an attack on the village of Sunagakure. Without the leader of the 3 generations of Kazekage, the village of Sunagakure fell into complete the passive nature of Sunagakure, coupled with the strength of the 2-day scale Onoki, made the village of Sunagakure retreat. The news of the attack on Sunagakure from Iwagakure village spread in the ninja world in an instant, and everyone felt the tension. And Chen is even more aware of the fact that the Third Ninja War has finally kicked off. The third update, please give me some support and, thank you, Zigwa. 311 The largest ninja war in history. The news of Iwagakure's attack on Sunagakure village spread throughout the ninja world within a day. At this time, Tatsu had already returned to Konoha, and was summoned by Sarutobi Hiruzen for a meeting. Tatsu, Minato, Danzo and other high-level executives were on the list. Everyone, the situation is very tense now, and I think another ninja war is about to break out. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned deeply and sighed in a low voice. The 3 generations of Kazekage disappeared, and Sunagakure village was besieged by Iwagakure village. At the same time, Sunagakure suspected that it was the leader of Iwagakure village, Tiantian Onoki, who planned this Kazekage disappearance, so Sunagakure the village is already in trouble both internally and externally in this situation, and asked us for support. Chen and the others all nodded slightly, and Chen's expression changed slightly. It seemed that Konoha was about to be officially involved in the Third Ninja War. This made Chen all a little serious, and it seemed that things were finally going in the direction he imagined. The Third Ninja War has been completely provoked by him. Of gunpowder and war is everywhere, indicating the arrival of this ninja world war. Hiruzen, since Sunagakure asked us for help, your answer is? Danzo asked indifferently. Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed and took a puff. I decided to agree to the request of Sunagakure village, after all Sunagakure is our Konoha ally. Sarutobi Hiruzen's attitude shows that Konoha is also officially participating in this battle. This also means that the scale of this ninja war is gradually expanding. Danzo nodded slightly. Danzo's strategy was originally biased towards the tough main battle faction, so Sarutobi Hiruzen's attitude agrees. In this case, we should quickly organize an attack, assist Sunagakure village, and deal with Iwagakure together. Danzo said decisively. Sarutobi Hiruzen shook his head. No, we can't be in such a hurry now. This time, it is not just us Konoha, even the Kingdom of Thunder and the Kingdom of Water are eager to move. I am afraid that the 5 major countries will be involved in this war. Chen's heart moved. Isn't that the case in the original book? The scale of the Third Ninja War was unusually large, and even the Kingdom of Water and the Kingdom of Thunder were also involved. The more famous event was the 3-generation Raikage that was recorded in the original book. He fought 10,000 Iwagakure alone for 3 days and 3 nights, and finally died of exhaustion. In addition, Minato encounters a combination. Also, the village of Kurigakure planned a three-tailed conspiracy and transplanted three tails into Rin's body, causing Rin to be killed by Kakashi. Therefore, it can be judged that both the Country of Thunder and the Country of Water joined the Third Ninja War. In other words, all the 5 major countries participated in the Third Ninja War. It can be said that the scale is an unprecedented ninja war. Ninja World War was provoked, just as Chen expected. Chen's purpose is also very simple, to weaken the power of the 5 countries through the Great War, and to develop Akatsuki. Under such circumstances, Chen of course wished that the ninja world would become more chaotic, which would be beneficial to Akatsuki's development. Because only the more chaotic order is conducive to the breeding of darkness. I mean, support Sunagakure, but not be able to send out all the ninja troops. Minato, you will lead the 500 elites. Ninja, go to support Sunagakure. Sarutobi Hiruzen thought about it for a while, then said thoughtfully. Yes. Minato got down on one knee and nodded. Others seemed to be a little surprised. The 3 generations did not send Chen, who is currently recognized as the strongest in the village, to support him, but instead sent Minato. Chen also moved in his heart, but didn't say anything. Also, let the Hyuga clan go to guard the border between the Land of Fire and the Land of Thunder, and the Uchiha clan to guard the border between the Land of Fire and the Land of Water to prevent a surprise attack by these 2 countries. Sarutobi Hiruzen thought for a while, then said lightly. Yes. This allocation of percent is also reasonable. After all, the Country of Thunder and the Country of Water are 2 big countries whose positions are unclear at present. In order to prevent the attack of the 2 countries, it is indeed a strategic arrangement. However, Chen raised his brows, feeling the inappropriateness of this arrangement. The relationship between Kumogakure village and Konoha in the Land of Thunder has always been peaceful, which is good. I remember that in the original book, Minato only had a test with the group, and there was no real battle. Seeing that the conflict between Konoha and Kumogakure village in the Land of Thunder is not too deep. On the other hand, there are many contradictions between the Country of Water and Konoha. In the original book, the most famous ninja swords of Kurigakure, 7 people and 7 people, once shot against the ninjas of Konoha. The task of the Uchiha family to guard the border of the Country of Water is by no means simple. Seems that the mission of the Hyuga family and the Uchiha family are the same, but Tatsu feels Sarutobi Hiruzen's favoritism towards the Hyuga family. The Uchiha family really doesn't hurt the uncle, but the grandma doesn't love it. A sneer appeared on the corner of Chen's mouth. Even Sarutobi Hiruzen, who has always been known for his fairness, is more or less inclined towards the Hyuga family, not to mention the other high-level officials of Konoha. This can be seen from this assignment of tasks. Understood. Chen nodded slightly, showing understanding. The head of the Hyuga family was also present, nodding as well. Uchiha clan, Chen, of course, has the right to represent Uchiha. Chen, you stay in Konoha for now to prevent other villages from acting rashly. Sarutobi Hiruzen said again. Chen narrowed his eyes slightly and nodded lightly. Chen is now famous in the 5 major countries, and his reputation has spread far and wide. As long as Chen sits in Konoha, he has a great deterrent force. It's assigned here for the time being. This is everyone's task. I hope that this Ninja World War, we Konoha can spend it safely. Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed, still frowning. Orochimaru is a little less concerned. Recently, Orochimaru has become more and more engrossed in his research, and Orochimaru clearly feels that the research is about to progress, so he doesn't care about anything, but only focuses on experiments. As for Tsunade, he was even more disheartened and ignored these trivial matters. So Konoha's power is entirely on Namikaze Minato and Tatsu, Ino Shikacho and others. Under such a background, the largest ninja war in the history of the ninja world has finally begun. Please be automatic. 312 Uchiha who was ostracized. The ninja war broke out. Sunagakure was attacked by Iwagakure and was already in jeopardy. By the 3 generations of Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, Konoha announced his support for the ally Sunagakure. Namikaze Minato personally led 500 elite ninjas. Shinye rushed to the aid of Sunagakure, making the battle situation finally turn around. Sunagakure temporarily stalemate with Iwagakure, and Namikaze Minato also entered the battlefield. Konoha has officially joined this ninja war. After that, unsurprisingly, the 2 big countries, Kumogakure and Kurigakure, were just around the corner, starting with the Kumogakure village. The 3rd Raikage personally announced his participation in the war, and the target of Kumogakure village was precisely Iwagakure. Under such circumstances, the 3rd Raikage led the elite troops of Kumogakure village, entered the main battlefield, and also began to fight against Iwagakure village. As for the country of water, it is aimed at Konoha, small movements, more and more frequent. At this time, within the Uchiha tribe. In Nanga Shrine in Uchiha. The head of the family, Uchiha Ming, was seated in the center solemnly, flanked by 3 virtuous elders of the Uchiha family, and Chen was among them. These 5 people are the current high-ranking members of the Uchiha clan. As for Zaichin and others, there are still Uchiha Fugaku and others. These people are basically Chen's peers, and they are also the backbone of the Uchiha family today. Uchiha Fugaku is married, and even Uchiha Itachi has been born, but at this time Itachi is still a swaddling baby. The current situation is not optimistic for our Uchiha family. That's why I called everyone this meeting. 3rd generation of Hokage wants us Uchiha clan to guard the border of the country of water. I believe that there will be war at that time. I hope everyone can be prepared. This time our Uchiha clan is likely to lose a lot. Uchiha Underworld. HMPH, let the Uchiha clan guard the border of the land of water, but the Hyuga clan are comfortably in the land of thunder. Isn't this clearly putting our Uchiha clan in flames? The 3rd elder had a hot temper and took the lead in venting his dissatisfaction. The other clansmen also nodded, all of them complaining. This is not a day or two. The Uchiha clan has long been dissatisfied, because the decision-making at the top is often like this, and it is rarely biased towards Uchiha. Well, since this time it was ordered by the 3rd generation of Hokage, we have no better way. We can only hope for you, Chen. Uchiha looked at Chen and said sincerely, Chen, the only person in the clan who can carry the cauldron is you. This time you stay in the Konoha Guard clan, and I will lead some of the clan to the border of the land of water. If there is any emergency, you can call the shots. I see. In all fairness, Uchiha Ming is indeed very good to Chen, and he was cultivated as an heir. So Chen was also appreciative and nodded slightly. Well, I'm relieved to have you here. Uchi smiled, then looked at the crowd. This time you all come with me to the border guards of the land of water, Fugaku, the 2nd and 3rd elders. Yes. Uchiha Fugaku, the 2nd elder and the 3rd elder were sent to guard the border of the land of water, while Chen and the 1st elder stayed in the clan temporarily. Everything in the clan is done by. It is equivalent to invisible. Chen has the power of the patriarch. It is also enough to show Uchiha's trust in Chen. Of course, Chen didn't have any intention of harming the Uchiha clan, so it was the same clan anyway. The Uchiha clan was excluded by the high-level Konoha family. It was no secret in the Uchiha family for a long time, because as long as anyone with a little savvy could see that the high-level Konoha people were cautious and vigilant towards the Uchiha clan, even Sarutobi Hiruzen was no exception. As for Danzo and others, they were completely vigilant and even disgusted with Uchiha. Therefore, under such circumstances, the vigilance and other thoughts of the Uchiha clan became heavier and heavier, and even many members of the clan were already rebellious, especially the young people of Chen's generation. Uchiha rebellion in the future, most of the people were indeed the same generation as Tatsuya, and Tatsuya could roughly understand the reason. On the one hand, there is constant exclusion, and on the other hand, there are conflicts between the clan and the high-level villagers. In the plot, Uchiha is indeed at the time of rebellion. The fate of the clan is very clear. and now there is only a sigh to restrain the mind. The head of the family, Uchiha Ming, left Konoha with some of the elites of the Uchiha family and went to the border of the country of water to guard Six Paths Immortal for a long time. Since Chen has been using the identity of Zero to act secretly for a period of time, Chen temporarily closed the Six Paths Ferry in the Little Black House, and sealed the Six Paths in the ring to prevent it from appearing, in order to conceal the purpose. Now, Chen finally communicates with the Six Paths Fairy. "Old man, are you still alive?" Chen's first sentence made the Six Paths Immortal almost vomit blood. "Boy, you disrespect your teacher. I gave you so much ninjutsu for nothing." "Old man, calm down, it's good to be alive. I'm going to practice Yongdun. Recently I feel that I will soon be able to make my pupil power reach the eternal Mangekyo stage. Help me," Chen said directly. The old man of Six Paths hummed. "Don't come, I only beg me every time I know there is something to do. Am I here to help you? What's worse is that every time I beg me, I'm locked in the ring. Do you know how boring it is?" The Six Paths old man kept complaining, and Chen was also speechless. "Okay, old man, you won. Stinky boy, let me first see how far your Yangdun has reached." And the old man of Six Paths softened his tone. After all, the relationship between the old man of Six Paths and Chen was really unusual, and the old man of Six Paths still agreed to help Chen. "All right." Chen also smiled, and immediately began to show the level of Yangdun. Ask for reward. 313 The ultimate of Yangdun, the edge of the fairy body. Chen found a quiet place and communicated with the Six Paths Fairy. The Six Paths old man stared at Chen, watching Chen show the power of Yangdun. Chen smiled slightly and began to show Yangdun. I only saw Chen's body move slightly, and a scorching power rose up, and this power contained a huge vitality, which made people's color change. Chen looked straight, his chakra burst out, and his chakra state was even stronger than his Susanoo state. This is the power of Yangdun. Has it reached this point? Even Immortal Six Paths was stunned for a while, looking at Chen in astonishment, a rare gap on the old face. Chen's Yangdun power is getting stronger and stronger, making the Six Paths Immortal also shocked. Chen smiled and said, "My Yangdun strength has reached a bottleneck state now. General injuries, as long as they are not fatal wounds, can heal quickly." "Well, as expected of you, this excellent talent really makes the old man envy." The Six Paths sage also showed envy and was full of emotion. Chen shrugged. "It seems that my current level of masculinity is getting closer and closer to the original Senju Hashirama's. After all, Chen has seen Senju Hashirama's cells, and has learned a lot from Senju Hashirama's cells, so he can feel the gap between himself and Senju Hashirama. Well, your masculine power is very close to Senju Hashirama without sage mode. In fact, if you follow normal circumstances, you should have broken through long ago. At this time, you should open your eyes to the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan." Chen was a little surprised by the words of the Six Paths Fairy. "You mean? Well, your current state is almost the ultimate state where ordinary people can cultivate to the young escape, already possessing incredible power, very close to the real immortal body." Six Paths Fairy Road. Chen didn't expect that his Yangdun was already so powerful. This is really unexpected. It seems that after getting Senju Hashirama's cells, it really has a great effect on Chen. By studying the condition of Senju Hashirama cells, Chen also felt an increase in strength. Well, in fact, with your talent, you should have been able to inspire Yangdun long ago, thus opening up the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. But you've been missing an opportunity to open your eyes. Six Paths old man said. What opportunity? Chen asked, and became extremely serious. Because Chen's Sharingan is not the eternal Mangekyo, but the Mangekyo. So Chen still can't use Susanoo for a long time, otherwise there will be great consumption. But if there is an eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, it is completely different. The eternal Mangekyo riding wheel can bring absolute power, allowing Chen to use Mangekyo's abilities without hesitation. And most importantly, after opening the eternal eyes, Chen can use the full body Susanoo, and that power is completely incomparable. Because your Sharingan's eyes are opened differently, usually the eternal Mangekyo's eyes are opened through two brothers and other blood, exchanged eyes and transplanted to form a new eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. And you rely on the power of Yongdun to reach this level, so there will be a bottleneck state, and you are in this state now. Six Paths Fairy Road. Chen nodded, but he understood what the old Six Paths said, it was true. Then the solution you're talking about is? Chen couldn't help asking. The old man from Six Paths smiled and said, actually, there are two ways to do this. The first is that you continue to practice Yangdun. I don't think it will take many years. Open the eternal Mangekyo. Chen shook his head, he couldn't wait that long. The third ninja war has broken out. After a year or two, Obito has been completely bewitched by Uchiha Madara, and Uchiha Madara will also appear in this ninja war. Chen also plans to meet Uchiha Madara in this war. Since that is the case, of course, the eternal Mangekyo is needed, otherwise it is definitely not the opponent of Uchiha Madara, although Uchiha Madara is already old at this time, and gave Rinnegan to Nagato. Old man, is there any other way? Chen asked. He must now turn on the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan as soon as possible. There is. What way? Chen looked at the old man's six paths itchingly. What made Chen bite Kiba's teeth was that this old man was really disrespectful to the old man, and deliberately stifled Chen's appetite, and said slowly with a malicious smile, the solution is very simple, that is, fight. A life or death battle in critical situations, unleash the potential of your body, and break through external pressure. So it is. Chen understands that this is also a normal method. But now there are not many people who are qualified to be my opponents, they are all cage-level powerhouses. Well, the 3 generations of Raikage, Tsuchikage, and Mizukage can be counted, as well as the 7 ninja swordsmen, I and Killer Bee. Quote. Chen is as precious as a family, and said to himself. Those who are qualified to be Chen's opponents, without exception, are absolute powerhouses. It's really not many, you stinky boy has gradually grown into a generation of strong. Six Paths old man said with emotion. Chen turned over the Byakugan angrily, ignoring the old man. If that's the case, then I'll look for opponents on the battlefield and make a breakthrough from the battlefield. Chen thought about it and smiled. All right. The Six Paths old man also agreed with Chen's approach. But at the moment I want to be at Uchiha's house, so I can only wait for the situation on the battlefield to change. Anyway, I'm not in a hurry for a day or two. I believe there will be results soon. Chen squinted his eyes. This time the Ninja World War was provoked by Chen. The Ninja World is getting more and more chaotic. All parties are eager to move. I believe there will be results soon. Well, you are now really strong enough to chase the pinnacle of the ninja world. The old Six Paths smiled. Chen is also smiling. Everything is going according to his plan. Ask for a reward. 314 Reikiri of Kakashi. Please, ask for monthly reward. For the next few days, Chendu stayed in the Uchiha clan. Occasionally, Chen will also teach Shisui, Obito, Guy, Kurenai Yuhi and other people's spiritual practice. Guy seems to have gotten the knack of taijutsu recently. He has been able to open the 3rd student gate of the 8 inner gates, and he can use taijutsu, Ri-Lianwa, finally getting rid of the title of the tail of the crane. Therefore, Guy has become more and more nervous recently, and even challenged Kakashi several times, but unfortunately he was ignored by Kakashi in the end. Since the death of White Fang, Kakashi has completely changed, becoming withdrawn and cold. Guy is still hot-blooded, but he can't melt the iceberg. This day, Tatsuya was still teaching Shisui, and since Minato had already led his subordinates to Sunagakur to support Sunagakur against Iwagakure, Tatsuya took on the responsibility of teaching Obito, Kakashi and Rin. Kakashi is still silent, and occasionally talks to Obito and Rin. Although he is respectful to Chen, he is just following etiquette. I will demonstrate a ninjutsu for you today. This is my own ninjutsu. If you have the opportunity, you can try to learn it. Chen stood in the field, looked at the crowd and smiled. Shisui, Obito, Rin and others all stopped and listened, hearing the words. Even Kakashi showed a curious look on his face. This is Chen's own ninjutsu, the famous ninjutsu of the light of the stars. Chen's name is very loud in the ninja world, and his self-created ninjutsu is certainly not bad. Hearing Chen's words, Kakashi and others they all stared at Chen. I only saw Chen stretch out his hand, and a light of thunder and lightning condensed in his hand, the light flickered, and the crystal light was dazzling. At the same time, there was a continuous sound of thunder and lightning. What a powerful ninjutsu! This chakra visible to the naked eye is condensed in the palm of the hand, causing extremely strong penetrating power. Shisui looked at Chen, showing a hint of reverence. As expected, it is the teacher, this should be the ninjutsu Reikiri created by the teacher. Chen easily used Reikiri, the thunder and lightning in his palm continued to shine, and the zizi sound still continued in the air. Kurenai Yuhi and Rin next to him also clenched their fists and looked at Chen with admiration, their eyes twinkling, and they looked at Chen with deep admiration. Kurenai Yuhi and Rin are both amazing, Reikiri doesn't care. Whether it's shape or power, it's all very good. Chen smiled and said, well, the name of this ninjutsu is Reikiri, it is the ninjutsu I created myself. Unfortunately, I'm not good at lightning ninjutsu, I only have fire attribute. Shisui is a little disappointed, he is not good at Raiden, thunder style, this ninjutsu is strong, but he can't learn it. Chen demonstrated Reikiri for Kakashi and others, and saw a huge rock several meters high in the distance. Chen's body moved, and he suddenly used the instant technique to reach the rock, and then Reikiri stabbed out. Zizi, the thunder blasted, just like cutting a tofu-like stone, causing the huge rock to shatter and fall. Completely collapsed. With a loud bang, the rock slammed down, all turned into shatters, and the rolling rubble fell, almost turning into powder. So strong. Obito is stunned and admired. Not to mention Guy, his eyes on Yuhi are so incomparable, but unfortunately this guy can't learn ninjutsu, so he can only stare stupidly on the side. This is too powerful, no wonder Big Brother Chen is so admired. I heard that this Reikiri is a ninjutsu created by Big Brother before he was 10 years old. Obito was speechless. So, Kurenai Yuhi and Rin next to each other looked at each other and admired Chen even more. Needless to say, Shisui and Obito, looking at Chen is full of a strong sense of belonging to Uchiha, the person in front of him is indeed the pride of Uchiha. Brother Chen, it's a pity that I can't learn this ninjutsu, and I can't know Raiden thunder style. Obito wanted to cry, what could be more tragic than this? Putting an extremely cool ninjutsu in front of him, but he couldn't learn it at all. I heard that Minato-sensei's Rasengan was taught by Tatsu-sama, as expected of Tatsu-sama. Rin's eyes flashed and he kept talking. Kurenai Yuhi glanced at Rin vigilantly. Sir Chen is my teacher, Rin, you won't make any more tricks. Rin's face turned to Yuhi, but stuck out his tongue and said, I don't know, I just worship Lord Chen, but you, Yuhi, you seem to like Lord Chen very much. Kurenai Yuhi's face Yuhi, it's not at all what you think it is. Can't even speak clearly. Rin giggled, I just said it casually, I didn't expect your reaction to be so big, it seems it's true. Don't talk nonsense. Kurenai Yuhi was completely flustered. The two little girls were whispering, while the others stared at Chen. Among these people, Guy, Obito and Shisui cannot practice Raiden, thunder style, only Kakashi can. Kakashi looked at Chen with burning eyes. Obviously the Raiden, thunder style, ninjutsu in front of him aroused his great interest. The name of this technique is Reikiri, which means that even lightning can be cut, and it has extremely strong destructive power and penetrating power. It's a ninjutsu with a level of difficulty. Chen rode. Kakashi's eyes are getting brighter and brighter, while others who can't learn are sighing and drooling, but unfortunately they can't learn at all. Kakashi, I remember that you seem to have a thunder-type chakra who can practice Raiden, thunder-style, ninjutsu. Chen looked at Kakashi and said lightly. Although there is no sympathy for Kakashi at this time, Tatsu intends to point Kakashi. Kakashi nodded and looked at Chen seriously. Master Chen, I want to learn this ninjutsu, can you teach me? I will only demonstrate it again, whether you can take the Reikiri master depends on your own destiny. Chen Dao, while talking, Chen quickly gathered the chakra of the thunder attribute in his palm again. Kakashi didn't even dare to blink, he watched carefully, lest he should make a mistake. Chen once again demonstrated Reikiri. Although Kakashi still didn't see it clearly, he remembered Reikiri's hand seal and was very interested in this ninjutsu, so he decided to try master. A meaningful smile appeared at the corner of Tatsuya's mouth. First, there must be Reikiri of Kakashi, and then Chidori of Sasuke. Chen does not want to change the details of the original plot. 315 Shock, Uchiha's Crisis. After one teaching, everyone realized the power of Chen, and they respected Chen even more. And Kakashi has been thinking about the ninjutsu of Reikiri, he just felt that he must master ninjutsu, so his mind was full of Tatsu's movements and hand seal. Of course Chen knew what Kakashi was thinking, and he didn't break it. Reikiri, I have given you the ninjutsu. Next, Shisui, I will teach you some demonic illusions. Chen smiled and looked at Shisui again. Shisui was taken aback for a moment, then nodded happily. Who doesn't know Konoha's Starlight, famous for his ninjutsu and super demonic illusion? Shisui has followed Chen to practice some demonic illusion over the years. Shisui was overjoyed, and everyone else looked at Shisui with admiration. The demonic illusion I teach you is what I named, the crow demonic illusion. You can use the crow clone, crow blast, etc. Demonic illusion. Chen said lightly. That's right, what Chen intends to teach Shisui is the crow clone and other Itachi's signature demonic illusion. In the original book, Shisui and Itachi are both teachers and friends, even closer than brothers, so Chen intends to teach Shisui demonic illusion, so that after Shisui grows up, and then teach it directly to Itachi. Shisui was extremely excited, and immediately nodded. Obito and Guy want to hug their heads and cry, what is this called? They are just here to be the audience, brother Chen. Obito quietly tugged at Chen's sleeve, and said in a low voice, you teach me a little ninjutsu. If that guy Kakashi learns your Reikiri, what will I do? Chen patted Obito on the shoulder and said earnestly, you have Rin enough. Quote, quote. Shisui had a great talent for demonic illusion, so he soon learned demonic illusions such as Chen's crow avatar, and couldn't contain the joy in his heart. Shisui, your strength has reached Jonin now, and you should go to the battlefield, join the ninja army of the Uchiha clan, and then go to the battlefield of the Land of Water to hone your skills. Chen rode. Yes. Hearing Chen's words, Shisui was a little excited and yearned for the battlefield. Chen smiled, and everyone else looked at Shisui enviously. At this time, Kakashi and the others were all yearning for the battlefield. Chen deliberately let Shisui go to the battlefield to sharpen, maybe the name of Shinshi Shisui came from this. After teaching these boys and girls, Chen also generously invited them to eat barbecue, which made these boys and girls full of praise for Chen. Master Chen is really a perfect man, he looks so handsome, and treats people so well. Rin held his chin and said with emotion. Rin, I will definitely become such a person in the future. Obito immediately swore an oath. Kakashi pouted, you still. Don't defile my idol. Kakashi, you bastard. Obito glared at Kakashi, and the two tended to quarrel again. When Chen saw it, he had a headache, these arrogant children can really make trouble. One gave Kakashi and Obito a shudder, this made the group of funny people stop. Okay, I'll go back to practice ninjutsu after eating. Now that the war breaks out, I estimate that you will also be on the battlefield in a year at most. At that time, it will be unfortunate for anyone who falls in practice. Don't worry about my strict requirements next, understand? Chen said lightly. Shisui, Kakashi and others did not dare to make trouble, and they all dared not speak again. There is no doubt about Chen's majesty. After reprimanding these guys, he finished the meal quietly, and Chen also returned to the clan. For the next few days, everything was fine. At the same time, the news of the war kept coming. Chen can receive at least 3 important information about the war every day, and the information is getting more and more urgent. The first information Tatsuya saw was at the Sunagakur battlefield. In the Battle of Sunagakur, due to the support of Namikaze Minato, Sunagakur finally eased, and the battle with Iwagakure gradually did not retreat, but stalemate with Iwagakure. Minato used Hiraishin's technique in this war, and made great achievements many times, and finally became known by many people as Akatsuki, who called it the Yellow Flash of Konoha. Another major event is that after the death of the 3rd generation of Kazekage, Sunagakur finally elected the 4th generation of Kazekage to take over the position of the original Kazekage. 4 generations of Kazekage, the father of the future Gaara. The 4 generations of Kazekage succeeded Kazekage, and finally the village of Sunagakur gradually settled down. In addition, the country of Thunder dispatched, Raikage led the village's ninja troops, officially joined the battlefield, encountered Iwagakure village, and started a battle. Battle situation was getting more and more tense. Even if Chen was no longer on the battlefield, he could feel the thick smoke and the smell of war. This time, the largest ninja war in history is currently breaking out. After reading the information, Chen was very satisfied. The 5 great powers were constantly fighting on the battlefield, and their strength was weakened. This is very beneficial to the development of Akatsuki. Akatsuki is currently taking root in the country of Rain, and according to Chen's instructions, has begun to spread out of the country of Rain, establishing intelligence networks to other countries. This intelligence network is Chen's eyes. Even if Chen doesn't go out, he can master every move of the ninja world in his hands, and he can respond to any changes in a timely manner, and stand in an invincible position. Chen is closing his eyes and resting after reading the information. At this time, a Chunin of Uchiha walked in a hurry and ran over with a nervous look. Lord Deputy Chief, it's not good, there is important information coming, the Chief Elder invites you to discuss the matter. Major information. Chen narrowed his eyes and looked at the name Chunin. Yes. Following Chunin to the council hall, Chen faintly guessed that something happened to Uchiha Ming and others on the battlefield of the Land of Water, otherwise they would not be so panicked. Sure enough, as soon as he entered the council hall, he saw the great elder pacing back and forth, and his expression was also nervous. He was only slightly relieved when he saw Chen lie, but he also said anxiously, Chen, the big thing is bad, and the Kingdom of Water suddenly attacked Konoha, and it was a full-scale attack. Attacking our line of defense, our clan is in an emergency, the masters and the others are all besieged, and they risk their lives to send information. 316 I am enough alone. What homeowner is surrounded? Chen's expression gradually became serious, looking at the great elder and said, what is the situation? The fact that Uchiha Ming was surrounded was important news for Chen. Chen squinted his eyes, and his expression gradually became solemn under the shock of his heart. In all fairness, Uchiha Ming has always been very kind to him, and even has the intention of entrusting the Uchiha family to Chen, and has almost absolute trust in Chen. As people of the same clan, they don't have so many intrigues, but they are really sincere. Compared with the 3rd generation, Danzo and others are utilitarian and win over. I don't know how much. This is also the reason why Chen has been sitting in the Uchiha clan. Now Uchiha has something to do. Rang Chen also narrowed his eyes slightly, feeling a little stunned, but also a little surprised. It seems that there is indeed a big movement in the country of water. Chen looked around, except for the great elder. The senior members of the Uchiha clan who were staying behind were basically all there. All of them looked at Chen, waiting for Chen's ruling. What exactly is the situation of the Water Country's full-scale attack? Chen asked. The elder nodded vigorously. That's right, it was the 7 most famous ninja swords in the country of water under Mizukage, who led hundreds of troops from the country of water to attack our border, surrounded our Uchiha family, causing the head of the family and others. They are all under siege and the situation is in a precarious state, thanks to the fact that the owner of the family has been alert and sent people to send out the information at the risk of death. Ninja swordsman 7 people. Chen squinted his eyes, raised his head instantly, a burst of chakra burst out from Chen's body, the strong aura was shocking, and the members of the Uchiha clan couldn't help but take a few steps back, looking at Chen in shock. Of course, Chen will pay attention to this. After all, there are few people in the ninja world who can threaten him, especially there are a few fierce people among the 7 people of the ninja sword. The title of 7 ninja swordsmen and 7 crowds is also famous in the original work. There are 7 big swords in total, representing the 7 top Kurigakure village ninjas. Is the super genius of the Ghost Lamp clan, the legendary genius who also controls the 7 ninja swords. It can be said that the 7 members of the ninja swords of Kurigakure village represent the strongest force in Kurigakure village. How many people were dispatched from the 7 ninja swordsmen and the 7 congregations? Chen asked a question of most concern. There is also a huge gap in strength among the 7 members of the 7 ninja swordsmen. For example, Ghost Shark and Zaibuji are not at the same level in the original work. The Great Elder also had a solemn and anxious expression on his face, and sighed. According to the information, the person here is the Ghost Moon Full Moon, who is known as the strongest among the 7 members of the 7 ninja swordsmen, and the other is Tsukazan Fubuki. The top talents among the 7 members of the 7 ninja swordsmen, which is why I am so anxious. Presumably now the Patriarch and the others must be in an extremely dangerous situation. Full Moon of Ghost Lights. Tsukazan Fubuki. Chen was slightly startled, it was really a bit tricky. Needless to say, Ghost Lantern Moon is the eldest brother of Ghost Lantern Suzuki, a member of Sasuke Eagle Squad, and the strongest ninja in the legend. 7 Knives and 7 Geniuses. As for Tsukazan Fubuki, the background is not small. This guy is the boss of the Ghost Shark in the original book, and the weapon he holds is the shark muscle of the Ghost Shark. In the end, it was the Ghost Shark who killed Tsukazan Fubuki and captured the shark muscle, replacing Tsukazan Fubuki as one of the 7 ninja swordsmen. Ghost Light Full Moon and Tsukazan Fubuki, both of whom are the top figures in the 7 ninja swordsmen. It's actually the 2 of them, things are really troublesome. Chen secretly said, but immediately remembered the external pressure breakthrough mentioned by the old 6 paths not long ago. Perhaps this is an excellent time for Chen's expression to change slightly, and he has already made a decision. The 7 ninja swordsmen are indeed extraordinary. Especially this time, they also led hundreds of elites to besiege them. I'm afraid that the owner of the family is more fortunate than the others. Yes, there are 2 elders, the 2nd elder and the 3rd elder, who are also there. The situation is too dangerous. We must immediately go to support. Quiet. Elder looked at everyone and scolded, although everyone's original intention was to worry about Uchiha Ming's situation, but in such a situation, they were extremely flustered and noisy, which was a disservice. Everyone stopped and looked at the Great Elder quietly. The owner of the house is in danger, now is not the time to speculate. The elders reprimanded. Everyone was silent, but there were still people who said cautiously, the other party is 7 people of ninja swordsmanship, and the whole ninja world is famous. Are you finished? Chen said lightly and turned to look at everyone. Everyone was stunned for a moment, but they all looked at Chen, and only then did they realize Chen's existence. Everyone's mood was immediately calmed down. Yes, they still have the light of the stars. When Uchiha is absent, Chen is the top person in charge of the Uchiha family. Everyone here subconsciously looks at Chen and listens to Chen. Command. Chen said lightly, the 7 people of the ninja sword are indeed very strong. Especially Ghost Lantern Moon. I heard that it is the first genius of Kurigakure village, and Sukazan Fubuki should not be underestimated. The two of them together may be more trouble than Mizukage. Hearing Chen's personal assertion, everyone's expressions became more nervous, especially even the first elder appeared a little flustered, feeling a little nervous. Even Chen said so, indicating that this time the situation is absolutely dangerous. However, Chen's words changed, and differently said, "This time to rescue the head of the family, you all stay in the clan, you don't need to go." What? The great elder was also stunned, not understanding what it meant. Everyone looked at Chen and thought of a certain possibility. Chen stood up, the chakra around his body flowed unconsciously, and the amazing chakra burst out, rushing in all directions. Everyone retreated in horror, looked at each other in horror, and felt unfathomable. Chen Dao, isn't it just the 7 people of Ren Dao? To deal with 2 of them, I alone is enough. 1 person is enough. Ask for a reward. 317 Patriarch Uchiha's death. Chen's words were confident and neat, which made everyone stunned, and then they all felt a rush of blood, only to feel that the whole body was surging, and Chen's words evoked agitated emotions. 7 people of the ninja swords are, how can I alone be enough? This confidence and domineering instantly infected everyone, and they couldn't help being convinced by Chen. Even the first elder sighed with a complex expression. Chen, no wonder the head of the family recommended you to be the deputy chief. Your heart is indeed unmatched. With you in Uchiha, I am convinced. The first elder had some complaints about Chen being the deputy patriarch, and even fought against Chen because of it, but now he has to be convinced, and is convinced by Chen's aura. Chen smiled. Since it has been decided, the elder will preside over the daily affairs of the clan, and I will go to the battlefield alone. Be careful, you are Uchiha's hope for the future. The elder said solemnly. The others also cast their eyes towards Chen, and they all respected him. Well, thank you for your concern. Chen saw everyone's concerned eyes and smiled. Compared with the chilling actions of the Konoha executives, there was a hint of warmth in the Uchiha family. Chen Heart is also very dissatisfied with Konoha's decision, even more so in the clan. Many people are secretly speculating that the top officials of Konoha should deliberately put the Uchiha family on the battlefield of the Land of Water, knowing that the Land of Water took the opportunity to attack Konoha, and by the way, the Uchiha family could weaken their power. Chen also felt this way in his heart, so he was even more dissatisfied with Konoha. However, Chen certainly wouldn't show these emotions. After he went to the backyard to greet Makoto and Kushina, he quickly rushed to the battlefield, heading to the Land of Water and the border of Konoha. Makoto and Kushina were worried when they heard that Chen was going to the battlefield, especially after hearing that the opponent was the most famous ninja swordsman in the village of Kurigakure. However, under Chen's repeated comfort, the 2 women finally recovered, but they were still a little worried. Chen officially went to the battlefield. At the speed of Chen, it would take close to a day to reach the Land of Water at the fastest, so Chen was rushing at almost full speed. Soon, Chen gradually approached the border of the Land of Water. Border of the Land of Water. With the advance of Chen, a dense layer of mist gradually filled the surroundings, and the mist lingered, accompanying him. This is also a unique landscape of the Land of Water. Basically except for Konoha, other countries have different landscapes, only Konoha can be regarded as the most normal country in the ninja world. Gradually approaching the border of the Land of Water, Chen Kan turned on Sharingan, and explored the surrounding situation. Old man, help me sense where there are intense chakra marks. It should be in this area. Chen communicated with the old man's 6 paths. Perception is concerned, the 6 paths old man is of course far above the current Chen, and Chen estimates that every move within a radius of several thousand meters is difficult to escape the 6 paths old man's eyes and ears. Unless the opponent is a ninja who is good at hiding like black Zetsu white Zetsu, he will definitely be able to find it. 6 paths old man is simply a moving radar. Understood. 6 paths old man said angrily, but still. Yian helped Chen and began to feel it. And Chen is ready to fight, and gradually adjust the breath to the best state. Suddenly, the mood of the old man six paths fluctuated. I feel it, but boy, things are a little bad now. What's wrong? Chen asked. Your Uchiha family is under siege and the situation is precarious, and Uchiha Ming, the head of Uchiha's family, has been severely injured, and his life and death are at stake. There were also 2 elders who were also injured. The old man of six paths said quickly. What? Chen squinted his eyes. The situation was more serious than he expected. That's right, I guess your Uchiha family won't be able to support them for long. Six Paths' old man said. Where are they? Chen asked. After all, they are connected by blood, and Uchiha is usually very kind to Chen, and Chen doesn't mind saving people. In the southeast, about 5 kilometers away. Six Paths' old man said. As soon as the old man of six paths finished speaking, he saw that Chen had already rushed out. And in the blink of an eye, it flew hundreds of meters, and quickly headed towards the direction that the old six paths said. Closer he got, the more he felt a violent chakra fluctuation, as well as the sound of fighting. Judging from the sound of the fighting, a lot of people came from Kurigakure village, at least 300 or more. In the blink of an eye, Chen was getting closer and closer. Relying on Sharingan, Chen was already enough to see the situation in the field clearly. I only saw that the current Uchiha party was organized resistance under the leadership of the second and third elders, and the head of the family, Uchiha, was seriously injured as the old six paths said, and Madara was blood-stained. Severe injuries due to excessive blood loss. And Uchiha Fugaku looked sad, supported him on the side, and urgently treated the wound for Uchiha Ming to prevent his injury from aggravating. Fugaku. Chen came quickly and used the instant technique to get in front of Uchiha Fugaku. Chen, you are here. When Fugaku saw Chen, he was surprised at first, and then his eyes flashed with ecstasy. He looked left and right. You are the only one. Well, is the master okay? Chen looked at Uchiha Ming again. Uchiha Ming saw Chen's arrival. A flash of light flashed in his eyes. He moved his mouth slightly, but he couldn't speak, because the injury was too serious, but there was a trace of blood on his face because of excitement. After a pause for a second or two, Uchiha said with difficulty, Chen, I'm afraid it's not going to work. This sentence made Fugaku look sad, and Chen was also slightly startled. With Uchiha Ming's current injuries, I'm afraid it is indeed the worst. This time, most of them will be damaged in front of the battlefield. The corpses of the Uchiha clan are everywhere, and at least dozens of people have died. These people are also the backbone of the Uchiha clan. Strength. Chen's heart gradually burned with anger. Thank you, senior actor brother. Fei Lu reminds you. 318 Chen's anger. The anger is monstrous. Seeing that the Uchiha clan suffered heavy losses, and even the head of the family, Uchiha Mei, seemed to be seriously injured, how could Chen's anger not spread? Chen was the deputy chief of the Uchiha clan, and the Uchiha clan was being bullied like this. Wouldn't it mean that the second and third elders who slapped him in the face also noticed Chen's arrival, and they were both happy and their expressions were much more relaxed? Chen, you are finally here. The second and third elders said with great joy. If Chen does not come again, I am afraid that they will all be damaged here this time, and there is a danger of the whole army being wiped out. The Kurigakure ninjas on the opposite side were startled one after another, and the 2 of them at the head were even more flickering, looking at Chen carefully. These Kurigakure ninjas heard the Uchiha tribe's name for Chen, and immediately thought of a person. There is only one person who can be so valued in the Uchiha tribe, and that is the Starlight, Uchiha Chen. At present, Konoha's strongest genius, even on top of Yellow Flash, Namikaze Minato, who made great achievements not long ago, he is a legendary existence. Everyone in Kurigakure was of course stunned by Chen's name, and when they looked closely, they were even more astonished. The young man in front of him was just the light of the stars, not to mention his handsome appearance, which seemed a little too young. The young man in front of him doesn't seem to be in his 20s or 20 years old. He is really the starlight who has moved the 5 countries and is so famous. No wonder these Kurigakure ninjas are surprised, because compared to Chen's name, his age is really high. Too young to be suspicious. Chen turned on Sharingan at this time, and glanced at the Kurigakure ninja in front of him. There is no doubt that the 2 leaders of the Kurigakure ninja are holding a large sword of different shapes, and they are 2 of the 7 members of the 7 people of the ninja sword. The one on the left is a fat man with the broadsword. The broadsword is full of thorns, showing a great purple metallic color, and it is amazing that the broadsword still has its mouth open, as if it has spirituality. This big fat man looks cold, and the big sword in his hand is the shark muscle of the ghost shark in the future, so his identity is self-evident, Sukazan Fuguki, the former owner of the big sword shark muscle. And the person next to Sukazan Fuguki is a young man about the same age as Chen. This young man's aura is even more restrained, holding a big sword. The big sword is called Flounder, and it is also the ninja sword that Chengjiro obtained in the original book in the future. This young man is far more terrifying than the fierce Sukazan Fuguki. He is the genius of the Ghost Lantern family, Ghost Lantern Moon. Ghost Lantern Manu and Sukazan Fuguki both looked at Chen solemnly, heard the name of Chen, and saw the young man in front of him calmly appearance. Ghost Lantern and Sukazan Fuguki did not dare to be careless. Manu, this person is not easy to deal with. Guashin Fuguki whispered beside the ghost lamp Full Moon. Ghost Lantern Full Moon nodded faintly, knowing the seriousness of the matter. Chen retracted his gaze and looked at Fugaku. Fugaku said sadly, "Father's momentum has long been unbearable, but he has been waiting for your arrival, Chen, and he believes it will come." Chen did not speak, and turned to Bo Ming again, only to see Uchiha Ming was really dying at this time. This Uchiha's majestic head of the family has such a miserable one, and his anger is even greater. Chen, from now on the Uchiha clan, I will ask you. After I die, you are the patriarch of the Uchiha family and take over the Uchiha family for me. Uchiha has a tough road. Chen's eyes moved slightly, and finally he sighed. I will try my best. I'm relieved when I hear your words. Uchiha moved his lips, and finally exhausted the last bit of strength in his body, and ended with a smile. Uchiha Mei, the generation head of the Uchiha family, actually fell on the battlefield of the Land of Water and became the victim of this ninja war. The death of the head of the family is definitely a heavy blow to the Uchiha family. Uchiha Fugaku burst into tears, and all the people around Uchiha were extremely sad and angry. The second and third elders had their eyes split open, and even roared. They were about to rush towards the Kurigakure ninjas. Stop! Chen said lightly, and the second and third elders froze for a while, then paused at the same time. They all heard what Uchiha Ming said before his death. Before Uchiha Ming died, he clearly entrusted the Uchiha family to Chen. Other words, from now on, Chen is the head of the Uchiha clan. Of course they don't dare to obey Chen's orders. You are all wounded, you should not fight anymore, you all retreat. Leave the rest to me. Chen said lightly. But, you are only one person, and the other party is. The second elder said that the people of the Uchiha clan could no longer support it, but in the current situation, only Chen was rescued, but the other party had 2 ninja swords, 7 people, and hundreds of Kurigakure ninjas. Without saying much, he said lightly, go back. The second elder opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but was stopped by the third elder and said, it's okay, I'll leave it to Chen, I believe him, he is the pride of our Uchiha clan. The second elder was taken aback for a moment, only nodding. The rest of the Uchiha clan also obeyed Chen's orders and began to retreat. In the field, only Tatsuya stood alone, confronting hundreds of Kurigakure ninjas and Ghost Full Moon, forming an extremely bizarre scene. Rao is the Ghost Lamp Full Moon and Sukazan Fuguki admire Chen very much, and at this time they can't help but be full of anger. Ghost Lamp Full Moon sneered. The people of the Uchiha family are really arrogant. Although you are called the first genius of Konoha, you may not be too underestimated by others, right? Chen did not answer directly, But the anger in his heart rose, and the anger became more and more intense, and sneered, "Very good, your Kurigakure village is very good, this time I will make you pay with blood." Blood debt pays blood. Chen is so angry, he has already started. Please be automatic, see the underlined version of the novel. 319 Blood debt and blood repayment, Chen's outbreak. Between Chen's words, the chakras of the whole body have spewed out, as if the sea is tilted straight down. The powerful chakras form an unparalleled power, enhanced by the power of Yangdun, and Chen's chakras show the strongest state. This chakra is overwhelming, constantly scouring, forming a terrifying force that makes people palpitate, and some Kurigakure ninjas who are close to Chen can't help but retreat. Uchiha Chen, is this the strength of the light of the stars? Just the outbreak of chakra made Manmatsuki and Sukazan Fuguki alert a lot, and they deeply understood Chen's strength. However, the two of them remained calm, and even Sukazan Fuguki had a sneer on his face, and said in a low voice, "HMPH, even if your chakra is strong, it's still not the same as the food for my sharks. My sharks like to eat them. Chakra, the more chakra you have, the more advantage you have for me." The full moon of the ghost lamp is also full of self-confidence, and he is not inferior to Chen when he asks himself, "Amaterasu." Instant, without any hesitation, he immediately released Amaterasu. Amaterasu. Sukazan Fuguki and Ghost Lantern Manu immediately reacted. They read a lot of information on Konoha powerhouses before the battle. Of course, Chen was the first among them. They all knew that Chen's pupil skills were powerful and could release a black and extinguishable fire called Amaterasu. This should be one of Uchiha Chen's cards, but he didn't expect Chen to use it in an instant. That's right, Amaterasu. I only saw black flames spreading in the sky. The focal length was within Chen's point of view, and these flames were controlled by Chen's Yangdun power, wantonly changing into any form. This is also the skill Chen learned by using Yangdun. The black fire of hell changed in vain, as if possessed by an evil spirit, and instantly burned dozens of Kurigakure ninjas, and then they heard a series of screams. This time, Amaterasu is a large-scale attack. As long as Tatsuya is within sight, almost everyone is enveloped by Amaterasu, and even Onateng Manzuki and Sukazan Fuguki are facing this powerful attack. Sukazan Fuguki used the shark muscle to resist, only to see a light blue chakra wall erupted on the shark muscle, which temporarily isolated Amaterasu, while Sukazan Fuguki quickly retreated to avoid Amaterasu's attack. As for the ghost lamp full moon, the figure instantly liquefies, and the body turns into a pool of water, separating the sides to avoid the attack. The body liquefaction of the ghost lamp full moon is a unique ability of the ghost lamp family. It can merge with the liquid, which is very powerful and convenient. This ability belongs to the ghost lamp family. Boy, this young man with a big sword is not simple. He seems to be a member of the ghost lamp clan. He has a strong yin power in his body. The old man of 6 paths suddenly said. Chen nodded without a trace, of course he knew this. The people of the ghost lamp family seem to have the power to escape. The most obvious is the second-generation Mizukage. He is the Grandmaster Demonic Illusion, and can escape the power. The ghost lamp family is not simple. Chen squinted his eyes, coldly, without stopping at all, watching the scene in the field. Although the ghost lamp and Sukazan Pufferfish used methods to resist Amaterasu, the other Kurigakure ninjas were not so lucky. Almost half of the hundreds of people were burned by Amaterasu, and this small half of the people gave out bursts of shrill screams. He screamed and rolled around, causing Amaterasu's flames to spread even more, directly engulfing a small group of people around him, causing more than 100 people to be burned by Amaterasu. For these ordinary Kurigakure ninjas, the only consequence of being burned by Amaterasu is death. Weeping all over the place, the dead Kurigakure ninjas are countless, all burned by the black flame, leaving no trace. Amaterasu will never disappear until the target is completely incinerated. In the blink of an eye, nearly 200 people, were buried in Amaterasu. The pattern of the 3 meniscus in Chen's eyes dimmed slightly, and he felt a burning pain. the scope of using Amaterasu is still somewhat burdensome. If it were Itachi, Sasuke and the others before the Eternal Mangekyo, I'm afraid that this will greatly reduce their eyesight. Chen is now considered powerful. It's a powerful technique. Once hit, it will almost kill you. This black flame is very terrifying. You can only rely on external forces to resist it from the front. The ghost lamp full moon holds the flounder in his hand and analyzes it in a low voice. As I said, I want you to pay your debts with blood. Chen said softly. At the same time, I saw that Chen moved again, and suddenly, under his control, through the Mangekyo Sharingan in his left eye, he opened the field of gravity. Under this gravitational field, everyone's actions are greatly restrained, and the weak Kurigaku ninja can't even move. Gravity. This is probably another ability of his pupil technique. Tsukazan Fubuki also felt the enormous pressure, and under the gravity field, his movements also became sluggish. Only Chen has the absolute advantage. I only saw Chen move his hands, and dozens of shuriken flashed out of his hands. These shurikens seemed to have eyes, and they quickly sank into the throats of those Kurigaku ninjas, almost without a single hair. The technique of the sword. The field of gravity made these Kurigaku ninjas move slowly, and Chen, in coordination with the skillful shuriken technique in the Sharingan state, killed each and every one of the Kurigaku ninjas like chopping vegetables. The second and third elders were stunned and completely amazed. This person is so unbelievable. No wonder just now Chen asked them to step back. They couldn't even get involved in a battle of this level. These Kurigaku ninjas are no different from delivering food. Under Chen's anger, they all become corpses. It's really like what Chen said just now. It's blood and blood. Thanks to you Yuan, sadness should end. Lele, after waiting for your friend's reward, the next step is the powerful plot. Please support. 320 U. Let's go together. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of Kurigaku ninjas had already been killed, and the ground was covered with the corpses of Kurigaku ninjas. The remaining Kurigaku ninjas were only a few dozen people. Chen's shuriken combined with the gravity field of his left eye ability caused a large number of Kurigaku ninjas to die in battle. What an amazing effect! Kurigaku ninjas are no match for Tatsu at all. Chen smiled coldly. As I said, blood is paid for by blood. Today, all of you Kurigaku ninjas, die here and be buried with me. Chen's words were calm, but there was an unquestionable taste in the tone, which made all the ninjas in Kurigaku village shudder, and the survivors just felt as if they were in hell, and sooner or later they would not be saved from death. At this time, a few ninjas from Kurigaku village trembled with trembling hands and feet, shuddered and flinched, their eyes showed infinite horror, and they almost ran away, completely losing their fighting spirit. Once someone took the lead in escaping, the other people's thoughts of retreating became even heavier, but they thoroughly saw the power of Chen, and they were completely in a state of shock. Who would have thought that Chen's strength was actually so strong? This almost terrifying strength. People were all shocked and trembling, and they didn't dare to speak at all. The Kurigaku ninjas started to run around, and some people were scared by Chen's momentum and ran away. But at this time, the flounder in the hands of Ghost Dengmanu sent out a powerful chakra, and the momentum increased, making the surrounding air slightly become a little dignified. This is the first time the ghost lamp full moon has shown power, and the same terrible power is displayed in front of Chen. As expected of the strongest genius of the Ghost Lantern clan, I heard that you are also the first genius of Kurigaku village, the leader of the 7 ninja swordsmen, and the Grand Master of the 7 ninja swords. Chen looked at the ghost lamp and the full moon, narrowed his eyes and said lightly. Showed a powerful momentum, making the surrounding Kurigaku ninja finally calm down. If Kurigaku didn't stand up, I'm afraid all the Kurigaku ninjas would collapse under Chen's pressure this time. Tsukazan Fubuki also stood beside Ghost Lantern Manu. The two of them joined hands to face Chen. Their eyes flashed with dignified indifference, and after realizing Chen's strength, they no longer dared to be careless. Uchiha Chen, no wonder you are called Light of the Stars. Your light is indeed unmatched on the battlefield, but now there are 7 of us, 7 people, 2 of us, I am not afraid to tell you, the two of us he is the strongest among the 7 ninja swordsmen. Sukazan Fubuki sneered, and the shark muscle in his hand made a low and strange cry, which also became excited with his emotions. The shark muscle seemed to feel the huge chakra on Chen's body and became extremely excited. Chen noticed the changes in the shark muscles and frowned slightly. Zaihei Ghost and Ghost Lantern Manu were both top-notch powerhouses, and the ninja swords in their hands were also difficult to deal with. For example, the shark muscles could consume chakra. People have a lot of headaches. Of course, although it is difficult, Chen is not. Contrary, this time is his best chance. Since he wants to use external pressure to break through the shackles of Yang and make Mangekyo Sharingan evolve into an eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, this time is the best chance. At the same time, the ghost lamp full moon also walked slowly, facing Chen. The ghost lamp full moon was staring at Chen for a while, looking for a breakthrough opportunity, and together with Sukazan Fubuki secretly besieged Chen. The second elder and the third elder on Uchiha's side were even more shocked when they saw this. They had experienced the power of the ghost lamp and the moon just now. At this time, when they saw the ghost lamp and the moon, they finally made a move. Of course they were extremely worried. Although Chen is powerful, can he really resist these two people? The people of the Uchiha clan all watched nervously. Chen faced the ghost lamp full moon and Sukazan Fubuki with a chuckle, and restrained the power of the gravity field of the left eye. After all, using Mangekyo for a long time made Chen's burden gradually increased. Chen then faced the ghost lamp and full moon and took the initiative to hook his finger and said, "You are not my opponent, the two of you will go together, I hope you can hold on for a longer time." Ghost Lamp Manu and Sukazan Fubuki looked at each other with annoyance in their eyes. Ghost Lamp Manu even sneered with a gloomy face. "Uchiha Chen, don't be too complacent, today I will let you see the 7 people of our ninja swordsmanship. Power. Of everyone, Chen's performance is only arrogant. Manu, stop talking nonsense, let's do it together." Sukazan Fubuki shouted and said to the Ghost Lamp Manmoon. Everyone retreated 1,000 meters to avoid being affected by the battle. Chen turned around and gestured to the second elder and the others. The 2 elders who retreated 1,000 meters were all stunned for a moment. A battle spread over 1,000 meters, but they still obeyed Chen's instructions and all retreated, waiting for the next battle to come. Everyone knows that the next battle will definitely be a battle destined to become a legend. Chen and the strongest 2 of the 7 ninja swordsmen confrontation. One is the legendary Grandmaster 7 ninja swordsman, the leader of the 7 people of the 7 ninja swords, Ghost Moon, and the other is Sukazan Fubuki, the former owner of the shark muscle. The Uchiha people retreated according to the words, and Chen also had no scruples. The chakras around him erupted, and the 3-lobed meniscus-shaped Mangekyo Sharingan appeared again. At the same time, a golden chakra spread out and condensed into the shape of a skeleton. With flesh and blood and meridians, it formed suddenly. Instant, enormous power was revealed. A Susanoo composed of chakras nearly 100 meters high, exudes outstanding golden color, extraordinary, majestic, and amazingly displayed in front of the world. Chen finally used one of his cards, Susanoo with both eyes. Ask for the little tail of the reward group. 6 Paths Fairy Crowd.